This episode of The Gaming Outsider is brought to you by eWin Racing, the home of the best heavy-duty gaming chairs. I can tell you from personal experience that I've never sat in a more comfortable chair at my desk. eWin Racing has chairs for gamers of all sizes, too. As a Gaming Outsider listener, you can get 20% off your purchase using our promo code TGO at ewinracing.com. eWin Racing, the best gaming chairs out there.
What's up, everybody? My name is Kay Bess, and you might recognize me from Agents of Mayhem, where I play Persephone Brimstone. You're listening to Scott Clark and The Gaming Outsider.
Welcome to The Gaming Outsider. On this week's episode, we're doing our monthly ritual of asking the community for video game-related questions for us to answer on the show. In news, there's a ton that happened in the world of VR this week, including a third iteration of the MetaQuest headset. New games discussed include Diablo IV and a fun little platformer on PC called Tiny Thor. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. It's Sunday, June 4th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are all three of my good friends. First off, Mr. Zack Barkerson. What's up, dude?
Got the whole gang here.
And Alyssa White.
Hi.
And finally, Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up, man?
Bottom of the barrel made it back.
Why bottom of the barrel? Why do you... I'm going to have to read his name first next week, just so he's not butthurt about it.
No, he's right.
I'm not butthurt.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to hold all the water in.
Wow. He's
All right,
essential. He's
little Dutch
holding
boy
all
with
of
his
us.
finger.
He's holding all of us up.
There you go.
Yeah, it's the sandwich. Scott's the first piece of bread.
Ooh.
Then
Now
Zack
that
and me,
got
then CP.
That's right.
Yeah. This is
Scott and
video
CB,
game podcast, guys.
Scott and CB are the bread. Alyssa and I are in the middle. Doing whatever
Oh, my
happens in the
goodness.
middle.
It is pretty, it's a good thing that we're all here this week, because unfortunately next week is not going to happen. We're not going to be all available next week. So for the first time in the Gaming Outsider history, I believe this is the first time
No.
we're not going to have a regular episode. Did we ever skip one?
Yeah, we
happened one
skipped
other time.
one before. Yeah.
Did it? Okay.
It's okay.
Folks,
Folks, I will sit here at my computer and I will just talk blankly into my mic. just imagine that's next week's episode.
no, we are going to do something. We're going to, we've each kind of picked one of our favorite from the outside in topics over the past, year or so. And Kevin's going to splice them all together as like just so we have something to post up there. But unfortunately, our schedules did not align. I'm going to be out of the country. Zach's going to be out of town. Alyssa's busy. It's just not going to work out next week. So I apologize in advance, but we are here this week, and I'm really happy that all four of you are here. Okay, and one more time, I want to remind everybody, it is coming. R2V2 2023 is happening on October 14th. Sissy Jones, John St. John are coming. More details are coming, and I promise we're going to, this week, I will have a page up on the site that will, be able to get you to purchase your tickets and get you more information and all that good stuff. But we're still a ways away from that, but I'm really looking forward to it. Looking forward to having some time to get some R2V2 stuff done, because school is almost out finally. But let's jump into the games we've been catching up on, CB. You beat Tears of the Kingdom, huh?
Yeah, before you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Scott's over there enjoying it. He's savoring the moments.
I actually enjoyed it. I mean, I'm still playing it.
All right. I hear the ending hours are pretty fantastic.
It's a pretty good one.
That's
All right,
good.
That's good to hear.
I enjoyed the experience overall. I'm a little disappointed over the fact that there's no after again. If you want to continue playing, do more shrines and everything, it's load your last save before you finish the game and continue doing things.
I mean, I assume it's something story related as to why that is that way.
Is it?
No, I don't know. How could I know?
Well, how
So-
could he tell you?
I know, dude. All I know is game's probably pretty close to the top of my list
It's
for the year.
It's
Um,
pretty close to top of mine, and I'm only halfway through it.
It's not on mine.
I have definitely been enjoying building now. Now that I've completed the story, I can see why people love just doing the I'm gonna build things and be stupid with this game.
Yeah, that's all my TikTok feed is
Oh my
anymore.
god, it's so much fun. Like,
And to be clear, Zach, when I talk about this being near the top of my list, I am not saying that Tears of the Kingdom is the greatest game of all time on release week. I saw your Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I saw the tweet too. I gave it a like.
Oh, well, I was more referring to the new Spider-Verse movie where everyone's like, it's the greatest animated film in history. It's like, dude, it came out an hour ago.
oh,
Settle down.
so I have more questions than answers by the time I finish this game. So
Mhm.
I'm just curious because I know there's a lot of like rumors floating around like how this ties into the storylines and everything. So I'm just kind of like, huh.
I mean, there's inevitably going to be a third one. I mean, I don't really know where you go from here.
Well, I mean, they said this is the formula going forward, right?
Right, yeah, they said no
Yeah.
more traditional Zelda games anymore.
But I'm just curious
makes-
because since there's like 3 different timelines for the
Yeah.
Zelda timeline, like which one this falls in and
I think
where it is.
Nintendo's biggest mistake might have been revealing that there were multiple timelines of Zelda.
Yep.
yeah, because now it just leaves me more confused. So, but yeah, I've definitely been enjoying sending Scott lots of links for stupid Legend of Zelda crap that
Hey.
I was just like, hey man, you need to buy this too, and he's like, man, come on, there's more. I'm like, yeah, I found more. By the way, I have more links for you, Scott. I found even more.
He's
Oh my God.
he's sending you a bunch of links. I see.
There you
It's,
go.
Yeah.
There's a I think it's Japanese only version of the Master Sword. Have you seen the Master Sword in Tears of the Kingdom yet, Zach?
No.
I won't say what it looks like.
How could
but
you? What?
it,
How could it look different?
I can't
different.
tell you.
I'll just
It-
tell you
but
that.
Even after
It
you
looks
find
different.
Yes.
it? Okay. Because
Yeah.
okay,
But-
whatever.
Anyway,
Stupid.
the reason it looks cool, I can't tell you, but there is a Japanese model of it that like sits in a side case and it lights up. Don't look it up because you don't want to, you want to go into the game fresh.
How
But
the hell could you spoil a sword?
I'm just saying we get in a lot of trouble for spoiling things on this episode. So just
Oh
it's
my God.
story related. So
I will say though, Scott, I'm excited for you to get to the final boss of this game.
yeah, I are you sure? Because you were texting me cursing its name at one
Ooh.
point.
Ooh, girl, it's hard.
Yeah.
girl.
It's not like the last one where you were just like, look, I can just float around the room and ha 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 ha. Look at me go.
It's actually got some challenge to it.
Dude. It's a marathon.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's a marathon because I've been talking with Brian Regals about that. He's like, "Hey, I'm getting ready," and I'm like, "Okay, before you go in, do you have this?" And he's like, "No." And then he went and he's like, "Thank you for the advice," because it's a lot. The final boss makes it worth it because it's so much better than the last one.
That's good. It's good to hear.
So
I am. I have made some progress this week. I'm working on my third temple. I'm in the Goron area. So, Chris, you probably know what's going on.
scrub.
Is it really hot?
Yes, it is. Just like when I was heading towards the Wind Temple, maybe I think it was or towards the beginning of the game, you had to keep warm, and now I have to keep cool. And you actually have to. You can't have any wooden weapons. Did they do that one in the first game? I don't
Mhm.
remember.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing here. Like if you'll just burn up your weapons if you can carry them, but you just can't have them equipped. Which that makes sense.
I guess your sweat is keeping them cool in your,
Apparently,
your
Oh,
satchel.
I fought Lionel's.
did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there
Yeah.
more to the story? Or you just-
Well, I may have one shot them.
what? Don't tell me how. Don't tell me how.
Were
This
Lionel's
game is
were they in Zelda before Breath of the Wild?
yes, they were in the original Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
They
wow,
were
okay,
those like horse-looking things that had
With
they had
the
daggers on
sword
their hands.
straight out, just like
Yeah.
galloping at you.
Okay. Have they
Yeah.
been in a 3D one?
I don't remember them being in
I think
Zelda
they were,
since the first one. but-
Okay. Yeah.
I think they were in one of the DS ones.
Okay.
It's
Not-
been a while since I played the DS one, so I can't speak with full clarity. I know that's blasphemy coming from a Zelda fan, but
I can't believe the last traditional Zelda I'll ever get to play was Twilight Princess.
Yeah?
Because Skyward Sword is
You
obviously
got-
junk.
you got to play the Link Between Worlds at some point. That
I
is
do, yeah.
a really fun formula.
Gotta get a 3DS. They're weirdly expensive right now. So
Yeah.
stupid.
Borrow one of mine.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
Alyssa, what about you?
I played Coffee Talk and beat it this week.
Oh,
So
nice.
I enjoyed Coffee Talk 2, by the way. I enjoyed it. I forgot how tricky it can be to figure out some of the customers' drinks they want.
Because they order in such an unnatural way that no one has ever
Yeah.
ordered coffee.
Yeah, I actually did lose a customer.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to
Interesting.
look up and cheat, like to see what the answers were.
Yeah, definitely.
And
do
I
not.
lost a
Yeah.
customer, and that changed my storyline.
See, then that's kind of what makes. I feel like the second one has a lot more variability than the first one did in terms of the story,
Yeah, it does.
which is cool.
Along with the being able to give items to people.
Right.
Or not give them. I forgot
Oh.
to give an item to someone too.
Don't tell me you forgot to give the lighter every time.
Not the lighter,
Oh,
no.
okay. Whew.
It was something else that was a little more. I mean, it didn't affect the story really, but I would say more important.
Yeah.
And I had one character in mind, but I was supposed to give it to the other character that's associated with them, and I didn't.
Mm. I think I might know what you're talking about.
So you're digging Coffee Talk too?
I really liked it, yeah. I would love for there to be a third one, but I don't know if there will be.
Would you say it was your cup of tea?
It was. I see what you did there.
Oh my god. Was it
But I enjoyed the
hibiscus-
first one as well.
hibiscus tea or butterfly pea tea?
Butterfly pea
I
tea?
think that's what it is,
Yeah.
right? PEA.
Yeah, butterfly pea. Yeah,
PEA.
PEA.
Oh,
not
okay.
not the other thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know butterflies peed, but all right.
Well, they must, right?
I don't know.
Do bugs
I
pee?
don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Don't think so.
It's an important topic because ants eat a bunch of stuff, so they must pee and poop, right?
Well, they excrete, but yeah. Anyway,
It's like covered in
Zach,
their own poop.
what non-fecal related game have you been playing?
That's true. There has been very low fecal matter in Weird West, which came out last year, like 2 weeks after Elden Ring, so that was smart.
Okay.
But it's a supernatural western. It is from.
You and your westerns
is
right now,
all-
man.
it's all
You're
I'm
just
doing.
like on a
It's his
kick.
it's his personality now,
That's right. Yeehaw.
and we accept that.
Thank you, Alyssa. This is the new me, Scott. It's okay. Step in line.
He's very y'alternative.
Y'alternative.
I like that. That's good. But Weird West is from Wolfeye Studios, which is founded by Rafael Colantolio, the creator of Dishonored. And it is it is kind of immersive simmy, which is super cool. Yeah. But so you play it's like 5 different characters you play as, but they're all kind of connected. And you start out as this bounty hunter lady, and you're just going to try to find your son or your husband because he's been kidnapped, right? But the action's all very cool. It's kind of like Fallout 1 meets a twin stick shooter.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, with some Dishonored in there in terms of stealth and such. Isometric though, but it's super cool. A lot of variability in the way things can happen. You know, a lot of like, you know, it has the immersive sim thing of like, well, you can try to pickpocket somebody and get the key. You could just shoot everybody if you want. Maybe you can throw a rope down a well and sneak around in the sewers, or you know, if you pay attention to some clues, maybe you can find a secret passage. Tons of ways to try to get things done, and then you know, plenty of moral decisions as well along the way.
And this came out. I mean, like you said, it came out last year, but didn't it just come out on like a definitive edition was just launched recently?
Yeah, on PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. And I guess it's 4K 60. It's an isometric game, so I don't know how big a difference that makes. But it's super cool. A lot of freedom in the world. The universe is awesome. All these like wraiths and zombies and pigmen in this open world. So it's just a lot of
Pigmen?
Yeah. The second character you play as is a pigman. He's been cursed, like transformed, and his top half is like that of a big old fat pig. but it makes the game interesting because you just got done playing as this bounty hunter, right? Where you're like working with different characters and making plans and stuff. But if you're a pigman, nobody wants to talk to you.
Right.
So you have to try to like avoid towns or try to sneak into towns or.
It's like the ghouls in Fallout.
Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm. And but a lot of different play options as well because as a pig guy you want to get in nice and close to people. You can ram them and use shotguns but it's cool because each character
supernatural elements.
So I just said a pig man. I just said
no. I mean, I'm talking about like even in the combat. I'm watching the trailer right now, and it looks like there's magic spells and stuff like that.
Yeah. You can play. You can do some spells. Absolutely. I just started playing as the member of an Indian tribe, and I can just summon bears to help fight alongside me. Kind of like Diablo style. Or
that's cool.
Or I can just straight up conjure a tornado to just wipe out the field. It's a lot of variability. My favorite thing is that each character is only like 4 or 5 hours long. So no more say they're welcome. It's actually like each time they've ended, I'm like, man, I could have gone for a little bit more of this bounty hunter, this pig man. Because when I first switched, I was like, I do not want to play as a pig man. But then like I got into a story about why he was cursed. And, and I decided to try to make him seek forgiveness. But I also just got into I just equipped him with like meat cleavers and stuff. And I was ramming into dudes and hacking them apart, which is super satisfying after playing as a bounty hunter because you're just a normal person, so you just have to walk around.
Right.
But then the combat's super fun because it is twin sticky shootery, and you get all those spells and stuff. But also there's a Max Payne bullet dodge.
Yes.
Where it goes into slow motion. It's pretty awesome. It even does it does that absurd Max Payne thing where your guns are just automatically reloaded when you bullet dodge for no reason, but it's so satisfying. It's awesome.
So when you're playing as each of these characters, are you playing the same timeline of story? Like, does the timeline, does it rewind and then you play through that character? You know what I mean? Are they playing incongruously? Is that the right word?
They are one after the other because in the game hasn't fully explained it yet, but there's a mystery because you whilst you are the bounty hunter or the pigman, you're also technically a spirit possessing them. So you're like helping them on the path to their destiny. But you are doing one after the other. But what's cool is like I was a pigman, so I was like, well, what if I just go back to the bounty hunter's home? And there she was, and there was some dialogue about how she like, she's like, everything that happened was kind of foggy, felt like it was in control, but not really. She's like, and then you can kind of help be like, well, I have the same brand. Like, does that mean somebody's, is somebody casting some kind of ritual on us? Which is interesting because it's almost like you, the player, are this extra character along with these characters
that they don't know about.
Yeah, that they're trying to figure out the mystery of you.
That's really a cool concept, man.
It's super cool. It's pretty dope.
I had no idea that's what that game was about. I remember watching the gameplay trailer back last year. I was like, oh, that looks kind of like a fun little, Western isometric game, but sounds like there's a lot more depth to that than I expected.
Yeah, there's a substantial amount going on, and there's all these like intricate, mechanics going on with each other. Like people can have vendettas against you and try to ambush you on the road, or you can take on bounties, or if somebody gets away. Like I got jumped by a gang, but I didn't kill all of them. But when one of the like wife of the leader of the gang came back because she was the one that got away with a new posse to try to hunt me down. So just like a shocking amount of depth going on here. You can kind of feel that Dishonored energy in that way.
That's cool, man. So are you like on a mission just to like track down any Western themed games you haven't played yet?
Yeah, of course.
Pretty much.
Absolutely.
And TV shows and movies, apparently. He's going to like, next week he's going to talk about, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman is what he's been watching.
Just getting all of them.
Something like that.
House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie. It sounds interesting though, man. I'll have to add it to my pile. It
does really sound interesting.
That one and the other one that you recommended a long time ago that I keep waiting for like a stupid cheap sale to go on is what is it? Aegis, something with a 7 in it.
13 Sentinels Aegis Rim?
Or 13, yeah, 13th Sentinels.
Oh, yeah.
13 Sentinels. I keep somebody in Discord, and I apologize to whoever you are because I didn't look it up. I didn't prepare this. Just started playing it and was just kept saying it's weird. But he was saying it in a good way.
It is very weird, but it is very good. I like how
you're waiting for that because I'm pretty sure I own it. A physical copy.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess I won't wait then. I'll just borrow yours in 4 years when I have time.
I was going to say you can borrow mine too, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. First off, some new trailers that dropped this week. The PC port of Ratchet & Clank A Rift Apart is coming on July 26th, and they dropped a trailer for that. There's a review for that on the website if you'd like to check it out. I reviewed it, thegamingoutfitter.com. There is a new 1-2 Switch game called Everybody 1-2 Switch. It releases this month for only $29.99. And then this one was a surprise. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged is coming on October 19th. I know Sean Coates is super excited about that. He loved the first one. And he said the DeLorean is in it. So for those interested. MetaQuest had its own showcase this week, and the MetaQuest 3 was announced. Also, we got some new freebies for Xbox Game Pass, games with Gold, and PlayStation Plus for the month of June. And Nintendo announced some new Joy-Con colors, pastel purple, green, pink, and yellow. And unfortunately, there's some crazy news with the KOTOR 2 DLC that was promised, and apparently it's not going to be happening anymore. Alyssa, I'm going to start with you this week. What story would you like to talk about?
Let's just talk about the games coming to Xbox Game Pass and Gold this month.
All
There's
right.
quite a few for Game Pass.
Yeah, Game Pass, we got Stacking, which wasn't that like a Games with Gold game at one?
I believe
Yeah.
it's Double Fine game where
Double
you're like
Fine, yeah.
Russian stacking dolls.
Yeah. I remember being cute. I think I have it, but I never got too far. Amnesia the Bunker, that's a new one, if I'm not mistaken. Car Mechanic Simulator, Hypnospace Outlaw, Slayers X Terminal Aftermath Vengeance of the Slayer.
That
That
is
is
a
the full
mouthful.
title. That game looks rad, guys. Watch that trailer.
Oh, okay.
That game looks pretty cool. Unless I'm misunderstanding, I think it looks neat. The Big Con, Dordogne,
I think it's
Dordogne,
Dodon.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's French.
Alyssa's
Dun,
cultured.
dun.
and Rune Factory 4 Special. Those are all Game Pass, but we don't have any dates yet. We just know that they are coming soon. Games with Gold for June. We got a game called Adios. It comes on June 1st, goes till the 30th. The Veil on June 16th through the 15th. And then over on PlayStation Plus, starting on June 6th, you can get NBA 2K23, Trek to Yomi, and Jurassic World Evolution 2. NBA 2K23 being on PlayStation Plus, that's a big deal, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, that's like,
it's got to have potential to be one of their most downloaded freebies ever.
seriously, like that's a massive title. Like all my students play 2K. They don't even call it NBA 2K. They just say, you play 2K? I'm
Yep.
like, I played NFL 2K. Like that, what are you talking about?
When I worked at GameStop all the time, you got 2K?
Yeah, 2K? Yeah. So, Alyssa, which of these are you stoked for then?
I definitely want to play Dodone. I've heard good things about the Big Con, so might check that out. Amnesia the Bunker. I really haven't played Amnesia, but it looks interesting. I would recommend playing Trek to Yomi if you've got PlayStation Plus and you haven't played that. I really enjoyed that game.
It was good.
It was. It's very Akira Kurosawa-esque.
Yo, Jimbo.
I still need to watch that one. That's one I
Real
have not
good.
seen.
Did you know that, like, Kurosawa make mad films? Okay, I don't make films. But if I did, they'd have a samurai.
I mean, they'd be very cool.
Little bear.
I just
Shout-
want to smash my face into my desktop now.
Shout out to all the
At least
bear.
it's not me. At least it's not me anymore.
Shout out to the Bare Naked Ladies fans. I'll see you guys in 1 week.
That is one of my go-to karaoke songs, Zach. No joke.
Chicken to China? The Chinese chicken? I love that song. I think it's
Yeah,
great.
You have a drumstick? Actually,
Now it's in
I'm
my
not gonna
head.
I'm not going to say it's an underrated band, but that is a solid band.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the lyrics are different live.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
I don't know if they
I
can, I
gotta
don't
look
think
up-
they talk that fast anymore now that they're older.
Yeah, it's very fast.
Slow it down by halftime.
Right.
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 Slayers X, again, Terminal Aftermath Vengeance of the Slayer. It's a first-person shooter, but it looks old school. You know how Alyssa talked about Bolt Gun last week, just being like an
Mhm.
old school shooter? I haven't played that one, so I can't compare it. But this one just looks like an old PC game. Like it's unless my resolution is just bad on my YouTube stream or whatever, it looks like an old PC shooter, but with just like ridiculous combat and an awesome soundtrack. I might have to check that one out.
Is it a
I
boomer
think
shooter?
that one is already on Game Pass, by the way.
Is it already? Okay.
Yeah.
I may have to check that out for next episode then, because that looks cool.
I think Adios looks great.
Yeah?
It's a cool premise where you're this pig farmer, but the mob brings you bodies to have your pigs eat or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But then,
yeah.
but then at the start of it, your character is just like, I'm not going to do it anymore. And it just seems like it's like an hour and a half or 2 hour game apparently, where the hitman or the mob guy is like begging you to reconsider because he knows that if you try to quit, the mob's going to make him kill you. But he really likes you.
Moral dilemma here.
Yeah, it's supposed to just be like a short little 2 hour kind of narrative experiment. I don't know. It sounds super cool.
Well, now it sounds like my kind of games.
Yeah, just walk around, do your pig chores while this guy's begging you to not make him kill you, basically. Sounds
hour-long free game, 1,000 achievements. I'm hook me up.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy it while you can.
More interested in the experimental narrative using this medium that we love. But yeah, also you get points.
No, all I heard was hour long, and I perked up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what stood out to
We're
me.
from 6 to midnight.
Until you read the achievements, and they're like, oh, you have to play through 6 times to get the final achievement.
Yeah, right?
Just pick up pig poop for 6 hours to get 1,000 gamer score.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I know you will.
Wasn't Jurassic World Evolution 2 a freebie already somewhere?
On Xbox.
On Xbox,
Okay,
was it?
yeah.
So it's just making its rounds?
So was Trek to Yomi.
Hey,
that's
man.
right. Yeah,
it was.
Good for these guys getting their bag multiple times, huh?
Exactly. Zach, what about you? Any of these stories stand out to you?
Oh, dude, this KOTOR DLC breaks my heart.
I know.
Dude,
you may have to give the backstory
I
on this
raged a little when I saw this.
Oh, it's infuriating. Well, I guess the Switch port of the game is not moving forward with the restored content DLC. The restored content, Scott, in case you don't know, or anybody listening, was a huge fan project that even some developers helped out on to basically finish KOTOR 2, because most of the stuff, if you've played KOTOR 2, the end really rushes to a conclusion and there's a bunch of stuff missing and some plot lines kind of drop off near the end. It kind of becomes a bit of a mess. The restored content mod fixes all of that because all of the lines of dialogue and stuff were in there. They just didn't have time to polish it, basically. So fans are able to just basically recreate that content. And there's like a whole extra dungeon and planet with this HK droid factory and stuff. So it's the finished version of KOTOR 2, and it adds like 10, 12 hours to the game.
Oh wow, that's significant.
It's substantial. Yeah. And it's free on PC. The exciting part of when they announced KOTOR 2 for the Switch was that a restored content mod was coming soon, that's the reason I got excited about it, because the idea of playing KOTOR 2 unfinished when there's a version out there that is finished, that's a difficult pill to swallow. But they're just not doing it now. But this follows over a year of complete silence. And the last time they said anything about the restored content mod was already like 6 or 8 months after the game came out, and then they just stopped talking about it. But it was infuriating. Every post Aspire ever made on social media was everybody just going, "Where's the restored content?"
Well,
because people bought.
Yeah, there's still more to it.
I know people bought this game because the DLC was coming. Straight up. It's the only reason I didn't buy it, because I was waiting for the content, and props to me for that.
You could buy it, but you could also buy the DLC separate.
Right.
It was still. No. It was actually going to be a separate DLC that you had to purchase. As well.
It was going to be a free DLC. That was their claim. That was their claim. But no refunds offered to anybody buying it. So super cool. And if you did buy it, you get to pick one of other free Star Wars games that Aspire has ported, which is lame, because you would have to imagine that if you're buying KOTOR 2 on Switch, you're probably a Star Wars classic game fan anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can get KOTOR 2 on Steam if you want, which I guess, hey, you can get the restored content there. You get Force Unleashed on the Switch, Republic Commando on the Switch, Episode 1 Racer on the Switch, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Boy, pretty terrible.
Yeah, this isn't good news. I've never played through KOTOR, and I didn't purchase it, but it sounds like people purchased this because they wanted to be able to play this, and maybe they're not a PC player. Am I
Right, that's
understanding
what I
that
want to
correctly?
do it.
Yeah.
Well, and also just I'm a total luddite for PC gaming. I don't know how to install mods and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
wanna-
either.
I'm too old to learn that skill.
I mean, I think it would have been the right thing to offer refunds, but how do you refund? How long ago did they buy it?
Probably a year and a half at this point.
Right, so they've
Yeah.
played it. So it's kind of hard to offer a refund for something that they paid for a year ago.
Right, but they might have bought it based on a false bill of goods.
I know. It just seems like some gray area, and I'm not standing up for Aspire here. They usually do great things with the Star Wars franchise in terms of ports and making it available on multiple consoles, and they did own it. I don't know what the right answer is here. I mean,
Well, I feel like the right answer would have been finish the freaking game.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it would have been like, what's the holdup here? I remember Paul Hine in Discord saying something to the effect of, they didn't even really have a ton of work to do with this. It wasn't like they had to develop it. It's done. It's there.
Right, they would just have to port the code to Switch, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which I understand that is not just a right-click copy, right-click paste. I understand it's much more than that. I'm not a developer. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they didn't really say what the holdup was. What's the problem?
Yeah, I think an explanation would have gone a long way, because my assumption would just be like they found out that their team couldn't figure out how to port the code.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same people who just failed to pass the Lucasfilm test for the KOTOR remake. So
That was what my question was. I wonder if this is more of a licensing thing, like, who's the original developer of the KOTOR games?
well, BioWare for the first one and Obsidian for the second one.
So could it have been an issue where, since it's on PC and it's a mod, it's okay because it's a mod, but you actually put it in as, DLC on a console, it's free, so it's not like people are paying for it. I wonder if it's a licensing issue or if it's something that Obsidian has a problem with.
I don't know if it is a licensing issue, right?
No, I don't see how it could be a licensing issue.
Because Obsidian is under Microsoft now, right?
Yes.
Right.
So could it be a Microsoft problem?
No,
Could it
because
be Microsoft getting in the way?
no, I don't think Obsidian has any hold over the code or rights to anything involving that game.
Okay. I'm just thinking out loud here.
No, I
I don't
understand.
know.
Yeah, I also want to correct it. It was the game came out summer of last year, so yeah, about a year
Mhm.
ago. Terrible.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
It's just it's weird they couldn't just. Why do they have to be so weird and cagey about it?
There's got to be a reason, right? I mean, from what we've seen of Aspire, they like doing these ports. They're good at it. They've done quality stuff outside of, I know you talked a little bit negatively about the Force Unleashed version on Switch just being the Steam port, right?
Well, the Wii port, yeah, but I mean that's
Or the Wii port.
even
yeah.
that's not really like they didn't make the game, right? That's not their
Right.
fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, they've done solid work here. This is just kind of a bummer that they couldn't do it, and it really kind of brings into question what's happening with the KOTOR 1 remake, because we haven't heard anything about that in a while. Remember when that was announced at it was E3 last year, wasn't it? Or whatever E3 was last year. Was it E3?
No, it was.
It would have been the
Game-
E3 before that.
Yeah.
Was it?
Was
the Game
it? It's been that
Awards?
long?
I don't remember.
But yeah, there was an like a earnings call or something that happened this week, and the Embracer CEO was asked about the status of the KOTOR remake, and all he said was no further comments. Like that's all we got.
I think he said that's my favorite question, sarcastically first, and then said no for this comment.
Oh.
Which is
And
funny.
if you remember, that game was delayed indefinitely after it was handed off from Aspire to Saber Interactive. So, you guys think we'll still see that game?
No.
One day.
I
Vaporware.
hope one day.
Still waiting on StarCraft Ghost, man. So,
Well, that's
sorry.
feels a little different.
And 1313 is just going to fall in that
Scalebound?
pile.
I would say, it's more like we were waiting so long for the Final Fantasy VII remake and it had to switch developers. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I also don't think Saber's like a super talented team either, but whatever. They're fine.
I still think Scalebound is coming back. I think that's going to resurface at some point in the next 3 years.
I'm willing to. I'm going to go on record now and say I'm willing to bet you may see it within a year.
Well, I mean, what else does Platinum have going on?
I don't know.
They could use the work.
I don't think another. That's Platinum Games. You said.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 5.
Right. It's a Bayonetta 4.
Four.
It doesn't seem like they're working on Nier 3, even though you think they would be.
You'd think so.
Yeah, that'd be a great opportunity.
Strike while the iron is hot, man.
Well, you think that? Yeah. What is it? 7 years ago now?
Mm-hmm.
Or 6 years
It's been
ago?
that long.
6 years ago for Automata? That's crazy.
Well, I want to talk about the MetaQuest showcase, which I admittedly did not get a chance to watch live, but I did a little bit of a catch up. And the big announcement there was, and I had no idea this was coming. Did CB? You're the VR guy. Did you know that MetaQuest 3 was coming?
They're planning on doing a cycle like every 2 to 3 years of like, oh, here's the new one.
Mm-hmm. So their first model, the 128 gigabyte model, is going to be $499. It comes out this fall. They did not give a specific release date. And their quote says, "Get ready for jaw-dropping VR and breakthrough meta reality that lets you blend virtual elements into the physical world around you. With a vast library of over 500 titles you can explore like never before." And on top of that, the Quest 2, which you do have, CB, right? You've still got a Quest 2, is getting an upgrade. It says Quest 2 and Pro will see an up to 26% CPU performance increase with an up to 19% GPU speed increase for Quest 2 and 11% for Quest Pro. So you're going to get an increase on yours.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they had a bunch of games they announced. Asgard's Wrath 2, Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, Stranger Things VR, Samba de Amigo, Ghostbusters VR, Power Wash Simulator. That I want to play that in VR now.
Killer app.
Yeah.
That game is just the gift that keeps on giving, man. That's pretty cool. There were some other titles as well, but those were the standouts. I mean, I've still got the Quest 1 and I haven't touched it in a year. So I'm not going to be jumping on it, but I like that price tag. Really like that $499 price tag for the newest, latest, best.
It's less than half of a PSVR 2.
Well, if you look at it with a PS5, yes.
Can't play a PSVR 2 without a PS5.
Well, wait, you can play the Quest without a PC, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this thing blows anything else out of the water then.
And it has no cords.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem is it's associated with Facebook.
Nope. They have severed that kind of.
I'm saying the company, it's still Facebook Quest, you know?
Well, yeah, but
Does anybody call Facebook Meta?
No.
Only friend me on Meta.
Only his alienness, Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
His alienness.
Dude, I swear to God. Assassin's Creed Nexus VR. Yeah.
Can you jump into hay bales from whatever in VR?
Oh, I mean, you've played Richie's Plank Experience.
I know, but I don't know if it's in this game. I didn't watch the trailer, so
I'm excited for that. Ghostbusters VR. Yeah. And of course, Power Wash Simulator. That sounds like a blast in VR.
A water blast in VR.
Samba de Amigo. Still,
is that a rhythm game? I don't remember what that is.
Dude, that's the Dreamcast game where they had the specialty maraca controllers.
Maracas? Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah. I never played it.
I misread Asgard's Wrath as Asura's Wrath 2 at first, and I got,
you got real
that's
excited.
What I read it as first too. Yeah,
that would have been.
There's also an Attack on Titan game coming to that as well.
That sounds vomit-inducing.
Yeah,
I mean, probably Motion Sickness City. Yeah,
seriously, like, could you? I mean, that show is awesome. I've only watched the first season, but
it gets
that
better.
is very quick. There is some awesome, and that is some of the craziest animation I've seen, and I haven't watched a ton of anime, but it's so fat. Could you imagine just swinging around?
Oh, with the ODM gear, just
Yeah.
It sounds cool to me, but if I played it,
I've only ever played one VR game where that was possible. It was called Windlands, and even that got me to the point that I'm like, little queasy.
Wait, what's that game that you called like Spider-Man with guns? Is that the game you're talking about?
Talk about Commando?
No, that's oh god, brain fade.
You know what I'm talking about? It's a game you played where like you swung around like Spider-Man, like you grappled onto stuff, but you also had like a gun in your other hand. You reviewed it for the site.
I know. Oh, brain not functioning.
That's okay, man. Don't worry about it.
I have those moments too.
I have more and more of them.
Oh,
But did that one bother you?
That one wasn't as bad because it was a much smaller environment, and there was a lot of ground-based things that you could see. Whereas Windlands was, imagine swinging around in the air in Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
That's what that was like.
That's a pretty massive world.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by that?
Massive, and you're like, oh, look, I can swing from rocks. Oops, missed rock, falling to death. No paragliders.
I can't think of the name of that game that you reviewed for us, man. I'm
I
drawing
know.
a blank. But I remember you playing. I actually gave that to my students, and they were like, "No, Mr. Clark, no." And I still never even seen what it is. But anyway, I again, when it comes to the Quest, I'm not going to buy the newest, latest, best when it comes to VR helmets at all, because I play them for a few hours and then I'm good.
See, my thing is like, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, if I'm going to pick one up, I'm going to buy it when it's a generation behind. Like, now would be the time for me to purchase the Quest 2 if I was going to. But again,
Especially
you
with
already
the
have
update.
one. Huh?
Especially with the CPU update.
Yeah. I mean, you get the updates. I mean, I'm sure the 3 is going to be a better quality, but the amount that I play VR, I've got so much to play on everything else. I'm good for right now.
I wish rather than just make like every 2 to 3 year cycle pumping out a new one, just focus on more games, please.
Right.
Because the game releases for VR are few and far between.
Wait, there's 500 titles they said in their quote, man.
Okay, first off, let me address that right now. Of the 500 titles, there's probably 250 of them that aren't actually even games. It's more like, oh, do you want to explore the Titanic in picture form in VR? This is really cool, and we're going to narrate it very badly.
That sounds rad.
No, it's not, because
well,
it's
not the bad narration.
Because it's a 2D image that you are viewing, not a 3D image. Like, you stand still, and they're like, picture of the Titanic. Look at it, folks. It's great.
Oh,
like you're just like an art museum or something.
Or it's like,
yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you could like fly through the Titanic like you were like a diver or something.
See, I would be all for that, but a lot of these are just literal like static 2D images that they put you in front of. That unfortunately with like the way VR works, it bends the image because it's a 2D image, so it doesn't look flat, and you're like, this doesn't look right. That's
a little crazy.
Especially like after they just mapped the Titanic in 3D. Like,
did
why?
they really?
Oh, dude, you need to go online and look this up. Some team like went through with like multiple undersea submersibles and completely 3D mapped the entire Titanic wreck.
That's cool. I would like to go look at that. That sounds fun. Well, let's go ahead and move on. I want to remind everybody about Patreon very quick. We got a couple new episodes up. Available for those that are contributing to our Patreon each week. If you're at the $3 tier, you get 1 episode a month. If you're at the $5 tier, you get 2. We have our most recent Desert Island Games episode with David Newman, and also our Peace of Mind Volume 2 episode. We got a lot of positive comments about that. So if you want to hear me, Zack, and Alyssa sit and talk about whatever is on our minds in R-rated fashion, you may want to check that out. Zack likes to swear. If you may not hear it on here,
right?
Zack really likes to swear.
The words are so versatile.
I know.
They're sentence enhancers.
Sentence enhancers.
We've also got a Star Wars Jedi Survivor spoiler cast coming. If I can finish Tears of the Kingdom, CB and I are going to do a spoiler cast on that. We've got another Desert Islands episode planned. And Zack, one of these times you and I are going to have to just sit down and you and me do our own Desert Island.
Yeah, do each other's games.
Yeah. That would be kind of fun. Maybe bring somebody in, one of the community to come in and like be the host and ask us. That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, if you'd like to help out the show and get some bonus content in the meantime, head over to patreon.com/thegocast. I'm sure that CB and I are going to be spending a good portion of the summer putting a whole bunch of retro game stuff in the hopper as well to kind of keep on deck. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and jump into the newer games that we've been playing. All right, Zach, list is very small this week. Thank goodness. But what can people check out if they want to?
It's almost like nobody wants to be in the week in between Diablo and Final Fantasy.
Right? Yeah. Plus, they've still got residual Zelda as well.
Right. Well, I think that's going to be cascading throughout the year.
Yeah, probably.
But right now it really does feel like no man's land.
Yep.
But Gray Hill Incident, a first-person alien survival-looking game, or a survival horror game, sorry.
Now, when you say aliens, you got to be clear. Because
the Greys, the classic Gray aliens.
like the old ones with the goofy eyes and what you see in old sci-fi movies.
Those are the best aliens.
Yeah?
Yeah, somebody rewatching X-Files right now. That's the aliens I want to see.
Yep.
Coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, as well as PC June 9th. Alyssa, how do you say this word?
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Dordone.
Coming in PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC June 13th. That is almost looks like a slice of life kind of game.
It's an Alyssa game.
Yeah, well, obviously. Heist Kitty multiplayer cat simulator comes to PC June 14th. That is exactly what it sounds like.
Dude, I watched that trailer. It's like cats playing skee ball.
No, the best is with the cats with the lasers at a rave.
Right, it's so weird. It is. You're just like hanging out as a bunch of cats, and I guess occasionally you can go steal some stuff. This should come to the Quest 3. It'd be cutting edge.
I dare everybody to go watch this trailer because it just looks like the most bizarre thing I've seen in a while.
It looks awesome. Otome game Jack Jean coming to Switch June 15th, another Alyssa title game. And then Layers of Fear, right? Yeah. Because they changed the name. That's right?
Yeah, they changed the name.
Okay, PS5.
Yeah, they went with Layer of Fear at one point, didn't they? Or
I thought it was Layers of Fears.
Yes,
Layers of Fears.
Yeah, it was Layers of Fears. It was so dumb. Coming to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC June 15th. Scott, which game's jumping out to you this week? None?
I mean, I'm not going to play any of them. I will straight up tell you that right now. I'm going to be playing Diablo. I'm going to be playing Zelda. And I got a couple of games on the Steam Deck that I really want to check out. So none of this is going to happen. But if I were going to play one, it would definitely be Layers of Fear. That game, if you guys watched that trailer, looks incredible. It looks highly detailed and like a game that I really want to play. I just wish it were coming out in October instead. Coming out at the beginning of summer. At this time is just not good for me. Hey, maybe by the time Halloween rolls around, it'll be cheap.
Right,
and I'll play
you're
it
going
then.
to play Dead Space 3.
That's not happening this October. Oh, you mean like the original one? We are going to play Dead Space 3.
That's why I said, I was like, no, you're probably just going to play Dead Space 3.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wake up at butt crack of dawn and play, for a couple hours every morning with Zack before he goes to bed.
Sweet.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll be John Carver. Memorable Dead Space character, John Carver.
I didn't remember that's what his name was.
I didn't remember the name either.
I'm only like 80% sure. That sounds like a Dead Space name, Carver. What about you, CB?
Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to be honest, Diablo 4.
Come on, guys. Alyssa, what about you?
There are 3 that I'm interested in. 2 you already know. There's Dordone. I don't know if it's pronounced Jack Jean or Jack
Sean.
Yeah, the Otome game, and then Layers of Fear, of course, because it'll be a good horror experience, and it looks beautiful.
Gonna go play that Door Dog Knee?
Door Dog Nay.
You said that like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, yeah.
He's like Buongiorno.
Door Dog Knee.
Oh, that's probably how people here where I live would say it. Door Dog Day.
Well, I, like you guys, love horror, but I want to play the hell out of Grey Hill Incident. This looks.
I do think that looks fun.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, it does actually.
I respect. Not only are they just going with the normal grays or the old school grays as you're referencing, but they're so confident that that's just a box art. It's just a picture of a gray alien's head.
I mean, when's the last time we had that in any medium?
Of course,
much less video games. Huh?
XCOM 2. If you looked at the image, it was the alien head.
Was it?
Right,
Okay.
It wasn't. Oh yeah, but this is just straight up like yeah. This is very classic. But I don't know if I'm going to get to it this week because I don't really want to start anything that I don't know how long it is. I don't want to start anything too long for Final Fantasy 16. But I will absolutely play Grail Incident at some point. I think this looks super cool. I think it's coming out on a physical copy next month, so maybe that'll be the right time to pick it up.
Is it a like budget title?
Yeah, I think it's. Well, I think the disc is $40. I don't know how much. Because the PlayStation Store never gives you a freaking price on indie games until the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks fun. Looks fun.
Does it look as much fun as Diablo IV? The game Scott buckled to marketing pressure.
I totally did.
And paid to get after I went on this weird rant on Twitter about how I don't know how anybody falls for this stuff. It's so predatory. It's terrible. I think this thing is taking advantage of gamers, ruining the industry. Anyway, Scott, how you liking Diablo 4?
Dude, not only did I cave and buckle and pre-order it to get it the days early, which was only 2 days for me because I didn't pre-order it until yesterday, Saturday, right?
Right. And how much extra
not only
was
did
that?
$80, I think, because it's no, it's 90. It's 90.
It's okay. So you paid $20 extra to play for 2 days early.
Correct.
Okay.
And
I was like, you know what? What's another $10? I'll just go ahead and get the $100 one. And I have no idea what that $10 paid. There was like, usually when you do that, they're like, oh, since you pre-ordered this version, you get like this and this when you first start out the game. If it's there, I haven't found it. So I don't know.
I just love the fact that I get a random text message. I bought the big boy edition.
I love that he paid almost half the game's price to play 2 days early.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I blame Blizzard more than I blame you.
No. Blame Joel Selinsky from our community because he got it, 2 days before that and has been talking it up, and I got serious FOMO. And plus, everybody in the Discord talking about it too.
It's smart marketing for them because you're going to make a bunch of extra money because people want to play it early, and then if you paid money to play it early, odds are you're going to feel positive about it whether or not you are. You know what I mean? Like it's going to automatically heighten it in your brain.
Right.
So yeah, it's devious and scummy and horrible, but no doubt does it work.
It worked, and it worked on me. Yeah. So, I did not play it online with anybody. I've only played solo so far, and I did not get super far. I got to like level 11. Somebody from the community messaged me on Xbox and asked how I was liking it, and I was like literally in the opening first mission, and he was like, "Oh, I'm on level 35," and I think the max is 70 before you start doing Paragon levels. So I have barely scratched the surface, but dude, this is going to be my addiction for a while, especially if I can hook up and play with people, because I picked a character that I feel is going to mesh well with others as opposed to playing solo. Playing as a rogue, which is a new for me.
Okay. Because everybody just plays necromancers in Diablo?
Everyone plays necromancer or barbarian, I feel like. You rarely hear about anybody playing sorcerer or druid.
Or
at least
sorcerer.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying like most people are talking barbarian or necromancer. So
where my assassin homies at from Diablo 2.
Yeah. So the interesting thing with the rogue character that I'm learning is that he's very much a buff character in terms of buffing yourself and debuffing enemies. And I'm gonna have to realign some of my skill tree because I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of picked stuff that made sense to me or what I would do if I were picking a skill tree. And the nice thing about Diablo 4, and I don't remember if you could do this in Diablo 3, and I've never played 1 and 2, so you guys are gonna have to tell me. You can respec your skill tree. Yeah, but I mean, at the beginning, you can respec for free.
Well, I feel like I don't remember if that was the case in Diablo 1 or 2, but I feel like most modern RPGs let you respec for free these days, right? It's a pretty common feature.
Generally,
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not as complicated as Elden Ring respecing.
well, yeah. Well, it's not from software. They're not trying to be intentionally obtuse. No, I'm not trying to. I think it's cool that games let you do that. It's just, it's good that Diablo follows the trend.
I named my rogue Sark, Sarkh.
Why?
I recently watched Tron.
I was like, I know exactly which character you're referring to.
It's not spelled the same, I don't think, but that's totally what I named my character. I wanted a one-syllable name. I literally was online looking up, give me rogue, like, name generators, and I was just going through trying to find a cool-sounding name, and nothing struck out to me, and I was like, I just watched Tron, so I named him Sark.
Dark Link.
Yeah. So, again, I'm going to give you some of the features that I experienced in this game, and some of these may be the same from Diablo 3. I don't know for sure, so tell me if they are as we go. They do the Borderlands thing in Diablo 4 now, where as soon as you pick up a weapon, you can immediately look at it, compare it, and click on a button to junk it. So that when you go back to the...
Been like
when you
all the way
go...
since like Diablo 1.
Really? Okay.
If you moused over, it would show you in like yours and theirs.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I'm
not
going to compare, but just the idea that you can junk it so it's just like out of your inventory, it like kind of puts a slash through it, so it's not even in your mind anymore. And then you just go back, and when you junk it, it turns into
I think
resources
they started doing
for
that
you.
in 3.
Did they? It's been
that
so
way.
long since I played 3. I will say that it looks really good, guys. I know that those of you that played the beta, was it the beta?
Mhm.
The stress test or whatever they call it. You got to see that opening cinematic. So you've seen that. That looks really good. And I actually sat through and watched the whole thing again just because it looks that good.
Blizzard's always done really good cinematics.
It's some really... Those character models look really real,
I will tell
man.
you. I will tell you right now. You go all the way back to WoW Classic,
Mhm.
and the opening cinematic for WoW Classic
Mhm.
was really good.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I will always give Blizzard credit for is their cinematics are gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
I will say that it was a really cool introduction to Lilith, the primary antagonist of the game. I think she's a really cool looking character, especially the way that they did that like drape thing over the back of her, and you can kind of see her heart beating through her translucent body. It just looks really cool. My only problem is whenever I hear the name Lilith, I think of Frasier's wife. I can't. So whenever they talk about Lilith, I assume instead of picturing this character, I'm thinking of Frasier's wife. I do like that they give you the option when you're going through conversations that you can either skip that line of dialogue or skip the entire conversation altogether. That's just a little what do you call it when it's quality of life?
Yeah.
Thank you. Quality of life deal where but I find myself sometime pressing it too quickly and I miss a line of dialogue, but that's just a minor thing.
Scott, you're supposed to stay a while and listen.
I was trying to get through as much content as I could before coming to talk about the game here, because that was my whole excuse for buying it early.
Oh
was
yeah,
like, well, I gotta talk about it on the show. Gotta have something to talk about on the show. Guys, I never do this. I spent a good amount of time in the character customization.
Oh,
You
playing as a dude?
I am playing as a dude, but I don't like doing like a bunch of tattoos and earrings and makeup and stuff. My character's kind of basic.
Your body's a temple. You want it to be clean?
No, I just feel like everybody does that. Like, it seems like, oh, I'm just basic, but I feel like just making just all these crazy adjustments to me is basic. I want to go the opposite way and just make my character just look like a normal person.
I think you made it. Actually, I think you make a good argument.
Yeah.
Just having a regular looking dude is contrarian at this point.
Mm-hmm. So I went with that, and I'm really happy with it. I'm liking it. Was there weapon durability in Diablo 3? I don't remember
that
if
I
there's...
can remember.
So what this one does, and those of you that are yelling at me right now, because it's seriously been 5 years since I played Diablo 3.
Well, I mean, it came out 10 years ago. Right?
I know.
Yeah.
But when you die, all of your weapons and armor and everything loses 10% durability. So it loses its ability to attack or defend.
3.
Was it? Okay. So then you actually go to a blacksmith and you have to improve it to fix it. So
Well, man,
I
so
do
a
like-
great opportunity to charge real money later down the line.
Oh, dude, don't get me started on the microtransactions. There's a tab at the top that's highlighted. And you know me, if I see a little red dot, or I think it's yellow in Diablo 4, but a little something that like a little notification, I gotta go look and see what the notification is. And sure enough, they want to buy more. I'm like, dude, I just spent $100 in your game. One of my favorite things, and again, could have done this in the previous games, but they offer armor variants. So you know how you're playing a game like this, and you're just kind of grabbing the weapon that just works the best, the chest piece that works the best, the helmet that works the best, the pants that works the best, and you just have this mishmash of stuff that looks really goofy together because none of it matches.
Right.
Obviously, if you get the matching armor and stuff, that's the goal. But now when you dismantle equipment, you actually can go in and have that variant of it available. So you can actually change what your armor and stuff looks like and your weapons look like. So it has the attributes of the one that you want, but it looks like something else. I think that's a really cool touch.
That's pretty. That's also pretty standard.
Is it? Okay. So I'm not
Hogwarts Legacy.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not telling you guys anything new about this game.
Yeah, we're not, for the record, we're not trying to yuck your yum.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I took notes. I literally took notes on this, but as I'm going, I feel like this might have been in the last game, but I don't remember. For sure.
I don't remember if it was in Diablo, but it's in pretty much every action RPG these days.
Oh, okay. But the gameplay loop is just, it's my jam, dude. I cannot wait to get in and play with people. I'm having fun playing by myself, but my best memories of playing Diablo 3, the only one I've played, was just playing with a friend and having conversations and chit-chatting and just having a blast.
Well, where the hell is Joel at?
Well, Joel's been playing it, but when I was playing, he was having a barbecue, so he wasn't able to. By the time he finished...
So Joel badgered you and forced your hand into purchasing this game, and he left you high and dry.
Yes. No, we're gonna try to hop on tonight and play. So he's probably level 97 or something like that at this point. Diablo is his jam. Like he's played every Diablo game on release, like since the first one.
Oh, so all 4 of them.
Well, I'm just saying, like he didn't start on 3 like I did. You know what I mean?
Like it was just funny. That's all.
Yeah.
I get it. He loves Diablo. He reads all the books. He's got a copy of Tears Journal at home.
Probably. It's a rough week for him though, because Street Fighter is also one of his favorite games of all time. So, or maybe it's a good thing. He's got 2 just massive releases that dropped, on the same weekend. But the quest loops. I mean, I feel like I'm not given a whole lot of new information. The biggest changes I've seen so far to Diablo 4, outside of the character stuff, the skill trees, which I'm only on level 11, so I haven't seen a ton of depth there yet. Is just how gorgeous this game looks. The tiny amounts of details in these dungeons, which, as I understand it, are procedurally generated each time, are staggering, man. There's just tiny little things all over the place that don't need to be there.
That struck me in the stress test as well.
Yeah. But I totally appreciate them. I was running through one dungeon earlier last night where there was like these almost like spider legs that were like sticking up off of the side of the like bridge or whatever, and just kind of just dangling there. You don't even interact with it. It's not an enemy. It's just pure aesthetic. They did not have to put that in there, but they just put this high level of detail everywhere, and I really appreciate it. So I'm absolutely digging it. I'm having fun just doing side quests. That's what I do in these kinds of games, is just side quests and level up and kind of avoid the main missions whenever possible and do what I can. But the cutscenes are just so stunning. And
is it like that feeling we used to talk about where the cutscene is the reward?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's it feels like the reward it's me rewarding myself for doing the main quest till later. I'm going to do all the side quest stuff, and then okay, now I'll go do the main quest, and I get to see this awesome scene. And the way it just kind of molds into it. I went into this one cutscene, and normally it would like fade to black, and then then it fades into the cutscene. It just did this like flower petal effect over the screen, and but it never completely covered the screen. And then all of a sudden, as it goes away, you just see the cutscene in front of you. it was just a really clever way to do that, and I loved it. So I cannot wait to play some more. CB, are you going to hop on tonight? Want to play a little bit tonight?
It's currently downloading.
All right. Maybe,
oh my God, you fell prey to the early purchase as well?
No. You have to remember.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy one, get one system.
So yeah, Diablo 4, I am having a ton of fun with. It's going to be a game I'm going to be playing a lot this summer. It's going to be
for $10 you get a season pass.
I did get a season pass. That's what I got for my $10.
Okay,
right?
that's included. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you buy the big boy edition.
Right.
Yes.
They throw you a freebie. They throw you a little
freebie. Anyway, so yeah, I'm having fun with that. I'm sure you'll hear me talk about that quite a bit in the coming weeks. But I got another game to talk about very quick. Actually, Chris Owens has a game to talk about. He stopped by to talk about a game. He's playing another one on the Steam Deck, guys. So we're going to listen to that review right now. Well, hello there, Mr. Owens. 2 times in a row, man. How's it going?
Well, hello, Mr. Clark. Yes, I am a 2-timer on the Gaming Outsider.
Yeah, not only that, you're 2-timer on the Steam Deck. You must be enjoying the machine. You're doing another game for us on there.
It's a good little device, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, actually, I think you're doing a third as well. So stay tuned for next week.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I get that device back from you one of these days.
I'm just glad to be able to getting back to doing this kind of stuff. It brings immense joy.
That's awesome, man. Well, you're here talking about a game called Tiny Thor, which comes from developer Asylum Square and was provided to us by Uber Strategist. I gotta admit, I was a little jealous I did not get to play this one because this looks super fun. Can you explain to everybody what kind of game it is and whether or not they should be checking it out?
Well, right off the bat, you're not lying. It's a platformer that's a la with a graphic style that reminds me of the Disney Super Nintendo days, the 16-bit days of the animations.
Oh, like the Lion King and Aladdin?
Because Tiny Thor
All
himself, you kind of get the breathing, the pattern. There's a lot of good pixelation when you kill enemies. There's bits that spills on some of them. The controls are really tight. Even Rayman, you can even bump it up to like the 32-bit days and bump up to like a Rayman type, original Rayman type animation and play style. It's a platform play style where you play as Tiny Thor and you're gifted with a hammer, ironically enough, on your 8th birthday, and you go out.
Ironically,
and you go out into the world to use it while defeating enemies and meeting strangers who may not be strangers, sinisterly as you put it.
Right.
Collecting gems, collecting special gems, and you just walk a path on an overview map where you can unlock certain levels to take out trials, where you can try different moves that you've acquired and try them at a professional level, I should say, with how tricky those paths can be. But a very, very, very solid platformer.
Now, you are a Mega Man aficionado, and those games are known for being super difficult. You talked about Bat Boy last week, which had some difficult bosses. Where does this one rank in terms of difficulty?
A little less. I mean, this is something I'd say that's a little more youth-oriented, I should say, with those that may not be so seasoned on the platformer. If somebody just wants to kind of get in, have a good time, and explore a platformer type game, this would be the one. Not to say that the bosses don't have some level of difficulty with them, but not to the level that Bad Boy had, or even Mega Man. This is definitely a watered-down version, but not in a bad way. You can get into enjoy it, and you're not going to want to slam your Steam Deck, which I have.
Yeah, please don't.
No. I know better than to do that. But you can get in there. You can enjoy it. It can be an easy time. It can be something just to kind of kick back and lose yourself a little bit in a platformer like this.
Now, I mean, I'm looking at some of the screenshots and the videos, and I mean, some of the platforming looks like it's still. I'm not going to say overly difficult, but it's not a cakewalk. This is not like a kid's game or anything like that, right?
No, but it's not. But you don't have to be the greatest platformer in the world to do this. You don't have to be a speedrunning aficionado to get something out of this. The true difficulty will lie in finding those special areas, those little hidden areas where you can pick up some more gems, pick up there's the standard blue gems that you pick up like coins in Mario, or there's the hidden gems, the red gems that you use to unlock paths later in the game. And you also have, and you may have a smashing idea with this, that the gems, there's actually a counter that says, hey, you're aiming to get X amount of gems in this level, and every level has 3 red gems that you're trying to find. So you're going to want to play over and over and over again. It's going to be really difficult to find those last lagging gems in there. So take the path most traveled isn't the most difficult. It does have some challenges. It gives it a good shake of a of a test here and there. But to find everything you're supposed to look for, it does take a little bit of a keen bean to say, hey, I can get here doing this or that.
Okay, so you got some replay in there too. But how does the combat work? Because I know that you mentioned he's got a hammer, which I guess I should ask: is it Mjolnir or is it something? Is it that Thor?
It's not so powerful yet. I'm not all the way through the game yet, but it has some rebounding, so I actually use it not only to defeat enemies, and sometimes you can't just take them on head on. You have to ricochet a little bit. There's some breakout type gameplay that goes on, with brick breaking that sometimes you have to do. So
breakout. Okay.
You do have to kind of work your way around to get to certain areas. And as you complete levels, you get amulets that you touch sacred stones with that you get more powers as you go along. So there's more to open up as far as that goes. So far, I've been able to unlock a double jump. That helps
gotcha.
in the later levels that you have to utilize. So it's not just a weapon; it's a tool. So it's something that you use not just for defeating enemies, but also to get around in the world in certain occasions.
Okay, what about the boss fights? Are they fun?
They're fun. They like I said, they do have a level of difficulty, but not so much. Like Bat Boy was, just the most recent option was. Some of them were incredibly frustrating. I hate to, I shame myself admitting this, but I died many, many, many times. But in these, it's a little more straight line, and you'll kind of get a little tongue in cheek action, especially with the first couple boxes. Like, oh, they're using this to attack you. Okay. But not so much that it's super frustrating. They just want to stop, quit, and go back.
Very cool, man. So you recommend people check this one out?
Absolutely. I think it's very clean. I think it brings you back not just to like the 8-bit era, but definitely for us in our mid-teen years to the platformers of Rayman and getting to the 32 and 64-bit eras of the platforming genre, and it is a ton of fun.
Very cool, man. Well, thanks for checking out Tiny Thor. I gotta say, I'm pretty glad that it's on my Steam Deck, so I can check it out too after you
You'll have
eventually
to
return it to me someday. Yeah, right. Well, good to have you back, man. I think we'll have you again next week to talk about another game. Yeah, keep in touch, man.
Looking forward to it, you bet.
All right, catch you next time. Moving along, we got some new people to say hello to over on Facebook. Charlie McMullen, I believe that may not be a new one. That may be last week's. But facebook.com/groups/the GoCast if you'd like to join the community. Also, our Discord community is live and thriving. Machine 261 is a new member over there. There's a link in the show notes if you'd like to join. Lots of good conversations going on over there. Also, drop us a review on iTunes if you can. It helps us get the word out about the show. And please check out our website, thegamingoutsider.com. By the time you hear this episode, Zack's review of Jedi Survivor should be up, as well as David Newman's review of Tape to Tape, a hockey roguelike game that he reviewed for us a couple weeks ago. So be sure to check that out. We would love it if you did. We put a lot of work into doing that. Let's go ahead now and jump into our From the Outside In topic. It's once again the first episode of the month, which means it's time for one of our favorite topics, community questions. We asked each of you on Facebook, Discord, and Twitter to provide us with a thought-provoking question, mostly centered around video games, and we're going to go through each one and answer them to the best of our ability. Let's go ahead and kick things off this week with the community's questions over on Facebook. I'll start off. Sean Coates says, what are some video game movies that were heavily panned by critics and audiences that you actually enjoy? I liked Hitman, the 2007 version starring Timothy Olyphant. Have there been many video game movies that were critically praised by critics? I mean, I feel like you got plenty to pick from here, right?
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah.
Is it just Last of Us and Sonic and Mario? Are those the only ones people critics liked?
When Mortal Kombat came out, the first one,
you're right. Yeah,
that was pretty big.
A mixed reception.
Tomb Raider.
People liked Uncharted,
the newer one.
Like.
Yeah, but critics, he's panned by. I guess he said critics and audiences.
I mean,
you're right.
Both first time around for the Tomb Raider, because the first. Not Cradle of Life, the other one.
Yeah, Cradle of Life is trash.
Those were both like the first Resident Evil.
Okay.
The first one.
Okay.
I had fun with it, but it just didn't. It felt like a fun movie that just had some some Resident Evil nods more than a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the Silent Hill movie.
I was just gonna say that I love Silent Hill.
First one,
I
not the
really
second
like-
one.
Right. Pyramid Head
Yeah,
rips that
yeah.
lady's skin off. That's crazy.
That was
the barbecue scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a rough watch, man. Oh god. Wow, I just had it and it disappeared. Wing Commander. I liked Wing Commander.
with Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr. Wasn't that?
Heck yeah, man. I loved that.
I don't think I saw it.
Oh man, I have it. We'll watch it.
Against my better judgment, I actually did somewhat enjoy the Max Payne movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Mark
you know,
Wahlberg?
right. And you know how close I am to that proper. I love Max Payne, but this was definitely something different. But I didn't actually end up hating it, which is, I think the first time I saw it, I was like, what the hell? But then the second time, I'm like, if I try to ignore it as an adaptation, I still think it's a decent movie.
Okay.
Kind of a TV show, but Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure. That thing's great.
That was. I really wish they would have kept in the vein of that very first one that they did,
With
where they're like interviewing Sub-Zero at the police station.
Oh, yeah. And Baraka was like a serial killer or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't you do this the entire way through? Because that was brilliant.
But people liked Mortal Kombat Legacy. What's some trash you enjoy? I like the Far Cry movie. That movie sucks, and I like it.
There's a Far Cry movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Uwe Boll, my boy.
Wow.
But it's got like some German actor in the lead role, but he's supposed to be this American in a Hawaiian shirt, but they really just don't even bother to try to have an American accent. It's hilarious. But the whole movie is just like, it's just so bad. But it's one of the rare Uwe Boll movies where it's like, it felt like everybody knew it was bad. Because it just feels like everybody's having fun of like, what are we doing here? But I remember having a decent chunk of fun with the Far Cry movie.
You know what?
Right.
I did enjoy the Doom movies, just for stupidity's sake.
Wait,
Like,
there was multiple ones? I only remember the one.
Yeah, there's like 3.
No way.
There's some direct-to-DVD ones.
Yeah. There was one that just came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I remember from that first movie was the first person scene. That's all I remember.
That was the coolest part.
The first person scene and Wheels.
Well, I remember The Rock getting like super zombie powers or whatever, and he's like hopping and flying around. He looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna make fun of me because this is not gonna help my cred, and it probably didn't help the video game industry or how people view gamers in general. I liked Pixels.
Get
I haven't
out.
seen that movie actually.
The hell, man.
I like
not
Pixels.
You
good.
sicken me.
I had fun with Pixels.
Doesn't a
I
man
mean-
bang Cupid in that movie?
No, it's Red Sonja or something. Oh, God, dude, it's so bad.
I had some fun with it.
I mean, I had fun with Monster Hunter.
It's better than the Alone
Oh,
in the
God.
Dark movie.
I forgot
That
they
one was
made a
terrible.
monster. Yeah, Alone in the Dark sucked. That's
any
not
of you
even
guys-
a good movie.
Did any of you guys see the Final Fantasy movie from 2001?
Oh,
The
Spirits Within?
Oh yeah,
I still own a copy of it.
I liked that movie.
Yeah,
I remember liking it, and it didn't do well.
I'm with you, Scott. I never understood why that movie is panned.
I
still haven't
want to
seen
go
it.
revisit it.
That movie suffered from like one of the worst cases of Uncanny Valley ever.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would now. I think in 2001, I probably was more lenient or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's why a lot of the critics did not like it, was because they were like, it looks too weird.
Yeah.
I mean that's reasonable. I think the worst sin of that movie is, or the worst fate of that movie is just that Advent Children came out a few years later and was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah. Do I really need to rewatch Spirits Within? If I'm going to watch a Final Fantasy movie, Advent Children's right there.
Wasn't Steve Buscemi in the Final Fantasy movie?
That sounds correct.
Like he was one of the random dudes that was.
I think you're right, man.
I
Donald
remember,
Sutherland.
I remember
What's that?
House of the Dead.
You like that movie?
I enjoyed it because it's just bizarre.
Is that Uwe Boll as well?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it was one of his first ones.
Yeah, I
Dude,
was like,
there's like that cemetery shootout in that movie is so wacky.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I haven't seen this in a hot minute.
Dude, the
I'm gonna
Polsa
watch
movie,
it
that's
tonight.
really bad.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty bad.
I'm running out of ideas, guys. I can't think of
Well,
any,
as far
like,
as the bad, because like the Super Mario Brothers movies. You know what? I will go out there. I will say I still enjoy watching the Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, but that's a movie you like to watch because it's bad.
Yeah. But I mean, the new Tomb Raider movie was good. Assassin's Creed was a turd. Doesn't matter what anybody says. It was awful.
I like that's a movie that I remember so almost nothing about it.
Yeah, it was so bad. Michael Fassbender couldn't even save it.
Well, he doesn't exactly have a great track record.
Zach, did you like the Blood Rain movie?
I liked one scene of it a lot.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. That movie's memorable because Ben Kingsley's in it for some reason.
That's weird.
I don't feel like I remember hating it, but I also don't remember liking it. It was just much like Assassin's Creed for you. I was like, I'm struggling to remember anything about it. But other than the fact that they made like 2 sequels, which I also watched and also couldn't tell you anything about.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next question. Zach, why don't you read it?
Sure. S.I. Munoz writes in, if you could be a villain on your favorite franchise, what powers or abilities would you have to defeat the protagonist? The powers and abilities must be from that same universe franchise.
Be a villain on your favorite franchise.
Are we talking about video game franchises or just franchises in general?
Wow.
I mean, I would. If it says nothing, I assume it's video game franchise.
Okay.
So,
Right.
my favorite video game franchise, Legend of Zelda.
Right.
So I would be a villain. Which villain would I be? Oh boy.
Ganon
I mean,
dork.
I mean that's the main.
Yeah,
villain,
you
but-
gotta be your own antagonist.
Oh boy, there were some really cool bosses in that game. But keep going around. Let me dwell on it while you guys come up with yours. What's your favorite Galaga enemies, CB?
I mean, man, if I could fly around in space, done. But
That's funny. Is
no, for
Galaga
me,
a
man,
franchise or is it just a game? I don't even know. Did it have sequels?
There was a
Uh,
Galaga 2, wasn't there?
Is that
Or
like, is that like
Galaxian?
is that like chess 2 though?
Well, that's the problem. Is like there's Galaga, Bosconian, Galaxian. They're in the
Mhm.
same vein. They're not really tied.
Okay. Galaxian. Galaxian's good.
It's the same thing, just different
Yeah.
stuff.
That's why it's good. Nobody dislikes Galaga.
I mean, yeah. Man, because there's only 2 that I can think of, and they're both disturbing.
Can I be a 5th Pac-Man ghost?
You can be whatever you want to be.
Winky?
Yeah. Oh, whoa, that sounds a little dirty. If this is in the UK, that's going to get filthy fast.
Um,
A lot of dead air.
I would
What-
want to be in the Aliens universe.
That's that's a cheat, man.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because I would.
Would you be one of the builders?
No.
I know. I'm sure you love Prometheus, right?
Shut up. Get out.
You know what? I went back and rewatched Prometheus, and I have a much greater appreciation.
If it had the
for
like
movies.
stuff that was cut out of it, yes. No, I would want to run Wayland Yutani.
You want to run it? My guy.
Yeah.
Do
Come
you
on.
want like a sim game?
No, like if I'm in that universe, like I want to be the guy, but I would specifically choose to be around the Red Queen era, where it's like I have my own xenomorphs. Let's play a game. It's time for gladiatorial combat.
All right,
Yeah.
Alyssa, what about you? I don't even know what your favorite game franchise is.
I would say it's Tomb Raider, but I'm like, how do I there's no defeating Lara Croft, but I'd probably go
Well.
for being the boss that's in the first game. I cannot remember her name.
Natla.
But- Which was it?
Natla?
Natla, yes, Natla. I'd go for being like her, just because I thought she was cool when I was a kid. I still
I mean,
think she's cool.
She was cool. She was super cool in Underworld, I remember.
Oh yeah,
She's like
she's
she was
in
like
Underworld.
locked in a cage with her demon wings and then breaks free
Yeah.
and Yeah, tortures Lara with her zombie mom. That game rules.
I'll just flip personalities and be Natla.
You just want to be Natla?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's cool.
All right, Zach, and what near villain are you going to be?
Well, I mean, obviously, my favorite franchise is Red Dead now.
So yeah, I was going to say it's Red Dead.
You just got to check the bio on the website. But there's no powers there.
Right.
So I don't know.
The power of wit.
The power of wit and good aim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But so yeah, let's. I guess we could. Yeah, I don't know. Really
Power of
fast
Tahiti.
guns. There you go. Yeah, I'll just start offering tickets to Tahiti to anybody. Boat tickets, and that's a guarantee to get you shipwrecked somewhere. It's a long-term death. I'll get you in the end.
Oh, that's twisted. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
And my name will be Karen, like the Greek boat keeper of the dead or whatever.
The Greek.
The guy who he on the boat in the river Styx.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
Charon.
Oh, Karen. I thought you said Karen. Like
Karen.
I was like,
Karen.
I was
stop
so
it.
confused.
That'd be awesome, dude.
I'd
That
like
would
to
have made
speak to your manager.
that would have made Hades so much better.
Actually, Zach would probably appreciate this. Be in the Star Wars universe, but what's her name that's out in Abeloth?
Abeloth.
You don't remember Abeloth?
Oh no, I don't remember Abeloth. Right, I'm sorry.
She essentially.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
yeah.
You should know exactly who
Okay.
Abeloth is.
Oof.
Imagine
I feel
taking
foolish.
like everything that's like extremely evil about the dark side, combining it into one immortal being.
Right. Yeah. Possess people and get weirdly sexual with teenage kids of Luke Skywalker. It'd be awesome.
All right, so
Abeloth's cool. Yeah. What about Ganondorf over there, huh?
No, I think the best Zelda villain would be Dark Link, like Shadow Link or whatever it was from either Zelda 2 or Ocarina of Time. I think I would like to take Dark Link to to make him more foreboding, because in Zelda 2 he was much tougher than I think the Shadow Link in Ocarina of Time. You really had to plan out a strategy, because he really did mirror everything that you did, and I think you could really do something with that with like a reciprocal of Link that has everything in his arsenal. Because even when you fought him in Ocarina of Time, he just was a sword and a shield, right? He didn't do anything with a boomerang or a hook shot or a bow and arrow or anything like that. Like really make him
did he not?
give him all. Not that I remember.
No, I trust you more than me. I just feel like my memory is you could like hook shot each other, but I don't think you could.
But I mean, like that's like the whole thing with Zelda is getting all those weapons, right? Make it like this giant arena where we're hook-shotting around, chasing each other, and
that'd be cool.
You know what I mean? And having to do boomerang stuff. Like you really gotta, I think that'd be the best way to fight Link, is to make him fight himself, because he's overcome everything else, and that's how I'd take him down. So there's your answer.
Would you be defeated like fighting the Dark Prince in the Prince of Persia, where you just have to put your sword away and then hug? Yeah.
There you go. CB, you're up next.
Jasper Hasselholm. If you could create your own video game, what would it be?
I mean, I got 1,000 game ideas, but the one I use for this show over and over again is the idea of a JRPG style video game, kind of mixed with the aesthetic of id shooters like Doom, and then but you would like. So it has a hardcore M-rated boomer shooter energy, but is actually a JRPG turn-based game. And in this idea, the summons could be like you summon Doom Guy, and then it's done from the first person's perspective or whatever.
Just as you're starting your summoning, the Doom music kicks in.
I think that'd be
cool.
pretty awesome, man. And just make it very,
cool.
very M-rated. And you could do it almost with just if I could just make this game on Xbox, they have all the cool first-person shooter characters,
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's something super cool about mixing those worlds.
Yeah. Mine is one I've talked about in the past as well too. I want the Easter egg, the video game.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just the whole goal of the game is just to find a list of Easter eggs. Like the game would give you a set checklist, right? Or different pages of checklists of all these Easter eggs you have to find, but all they do is give you a title. And your job is just to figure out how to do them. But then there's also a list of unseen Easter eggs that you just have to experiment and figure out and try to sandbox your way through how to do it. And then it's going to have that online component where everybody's comparing notes and message boards, and people are fooling people into doing stuff that is an Easter egg and it's not actually going to work, and what's real, what's not. I think we talked about like the closest thing we've got to that is Fez in a long time, right?
Yeah.
Where people kind of collaborated together to figure out that game. But I want that in like an open world, sandbox style game, just Easter egg the video game.
I think it would be so popular in this day and age where every, major news site already has here's the 60 Easter eggs of Across the Spider-Verse, on opening weekend. It's just obvious people are hungry for Easter eggs and references. So
right.
I think that game would be very popular.
I mean, just think of all this, the crazy. I mean, I discovered an Easter egg today, actually, in Ocarina of Time. When you play, I think it's Zelda's Lullaby or one of those songs you play on the ocarina. When you're in the Temple of Time, there's like, if you look at the stained glass of Zelda, you can actually see the pattern of those notes on a staff, like in the stained glass in there, if you look closely. I never knew that. It could be something as subtle as that. Like if you just happen to be looking in that room and see stuff like that, you're going to piece something together. And it's just, very obtuse puzzle solving, where people are just like collaborating to make this happen. That would be my game idea.
I think it sounds super cool.
Yeah. Alyssa, you got an idea?
Mine would probably just be a narrative adventure game that has some mental health elements that ultimately makes the player cry at some point because I gotta throw depressing stuff in.
Perfect.
You just want people to cry, huh?
Well, cry and then smile.
There you go.
Soften the blow.
And then cry some more.
CB, what kind of aliens game would you be making?
Well, that would be one of them, but unfortunately, the true sequel to Aliens will never happen. So, I give you this. Do you remember the movie Stay Tuned?
Stay Tuned. It was a TV show, like a game show. Wasn't it a movie?
It was where the devil gives them this really upgraded system because his TV breaks, but it puts them into messed up versions of TV series, and they have to survive.
I've not seen it, but I think I remember you told me because you got it on Laserdisc.
Yeah, that's the only way you can find it because it was never made DVD or Blu-ray.
Okay.
So you can go online to YouTube and find the trailer for this movie. It's called Stay Tuned. It stars the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, okay.
And John Ritter? Yeah, John Ritter. So you are essentially...
You mean the guy from Hunt for October?
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know either.
The guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off was in Hunt for October. He was the sub driver that Jack Ryan went to have him look at the doors on the submarine at the very beginning of the movie.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it again now.
I just broke CB's brain.
Yeah, I was just brain hurt. But I want you to be transported into this messed up TV universe, and you have to each level is a different movie or TV show, but they're canceled. They were movies or TV shows that were originally supposed to happen.
Oh, okay.
They got changed. So the original writing of Alien 3 or the original sequel to The Thing. So all those.
You could call it the cutting floor.
Dude, I'm in.
Yeah.
So but you have to survive through the final acts of these movies.
Dude, that's a really good idea. Because I feel like that would be easy licensing because
these things don't exist.
Well, they don't. The actual movies exist, but I feel like you could get a workaround of that somehow.
Oh yeah,
and get the studios involved and some of the behind the scenes and what the original script was.
The original script for Ghostbusters 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you can almost make it it can also be like a museum as well. All these like behind the scenes features or something.
Yeah.
Telling the story of the cancellations.
So as you like go into each level, it gives you a brief synopsis of like what this was originally supposed to be, but then the actual like level or area that you're running through is the final act. So you essentially get to be like the final girl in like a horror movie.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a really good idea, man. I was expecting somebody to say the trilogy of, was it Spyro? Remember we talked about like bringing the different characters from the games together that were now on Xbox?
Xbox Platforming All-Stars, of course.
Yeah. Like, that was I
just a real shot at PlayStation. PlayStation All-Stars. Xbox All-Stars.
Give me Phil. I know you're listening, Mr. Spencer. I'll head the game up.
But the cool thing is that game, you could constantly be making new DLCs for it.
Right.
As like
it could be like Power Wash Simulator, the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah. It's just like we've uncovered a new script and there's new movies coming.
Dude,
right.
You might want to hang on to that. That's a solid.
Yeah, it is.
Solid idea.
Good thing it's on a recorded podcast with a date and timestamp.
We can we could see James Cameron's version of Spider-Man finally.
Dude. Yeah. Or the Nicolas Cage version of
I was gonna
Superman.
Say, yep.
Yeah.
Superman Lives.
Great. That'd be cool. CB, I have two quick questions, and Scott, you're just gonna have to calm down while we do this. CB, do you not like Alien 3?
I like what it was originally supposed to. I've actually read the part of the original script that was supposed to be.
Right, but do you like the Alien 3 that we got?
No, I like the director's cut version.
The was it the assembly cut?
Yes.
Yeah. Me too.
Which is far superior. But if you just watch standard Alien 3, it is garbage.
It's not great, but I respect the big swing of just killing off beloved characters in the first minute of a sequel. That's certainly a choice. But and then I was just going to ask if you've read the Alien 3 unproduced screenplay comic book from Dark Horse.
Yes, I would love to actually get my hands on one.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty cool.
Between that and then, because I know we brought it up on the Hollywood Outsider, but the sequel to The Thing that was actually made into a comic book series, which would have made a stellar movie.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but maybe we'll talk about it after
we'll talk off air.
Yeah.
I like Alien 3. Jesper also asked, do any of you guys work out, go to the gym, run?
I lift human bodies for a living, so that.
I have not exercised in quite a while. My wife actually canceled my gym membership because
you worked out today.
Well, I got certified for open water diving this weekend. I've been exercising all weekend, but I haven't gone to the gym in a while. So I am planning to renew this summer. I want to get back into racquetball. I love to play racquetball, but it's hard to find someone to commit to a game every week. So I used to run. I've done a couple half marathons. I need to get back into that and lifting as well. So got Chris Owens, actually, who you heard earlier, has been bugging me to go work out with him. So I got to get back on track. What about you guys? Any exercise?
I used to, girls. When I lived in Chicago and I had a basement apartment for 2 years, I worked out pretty much religiously every single day after work. It was the best shape I've ever been in my life, but after that, I haven't been able to get a basement apartment again, and I don't feel comfortable working out where people can hear me every jumping jack and push up, and every time I drop a dumbbell or whatever.
Right.
And I think gyms are awful. I think they're a complete waste of money, and I think they're terrible for everybody involved. So I don't want any part of the gym lifestyle. And it's also just, you spend so much time going to and from the gym that you could be working out in your house. And if it works for people, great. But I think gyms suck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would like to lose the weight so I can get back into kickboxing and jiu-jitsu again.
Mm-hmm.
But time is a thing with children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, you should just ignore them.
Unfortunately, the time vortex only works for certain things.
Yeah.
Alyssa, do you work out?
I'm not. It is a very slippery slope for me if I hate working out, let me just say that, but if I ever start I used to walk 10,000 steps a day, I would make myself, but it's a very slippery slope because I've getting into heavier stuff, dealt with eating disorders in the past multiple times, and working out triggers that for me because it starts making me count calories. And I'm like, I have to hit this number, and it makes my mental health worse because it makes my OCD flare up. So I'm not really working out. I just, if I feel like dancing, I'll dance by myself or I'll do some stretches, but not really do any kind of workouts or anything or tracking anything because it's just not a good place for me mentally to do that.
You should try yoga.
I should actually, because I really haven't tried it.
Yoga is very good for that kind of thing. Like it's not you don't think it's a hard workout until you actually do it, and then you're like, I just got my butt kicked for like an hour.
Yep.
I do have hypermobility, so that might actually be a good.
See? There you go, yoga.
Way, yeah.
Wait, what's the hell's hypermobility?
You're an Apple person, aren't you?
Basically, double jointed is.
Oh, hypermobility?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I want to leave that one alone for now.
I can tell from the look on your face.
Alyssa, are you an Apple person?
I am.
Because they've got those fitness things on there where you can find some yoga videos and everything. Just a heads up.
It's smart. Give Apple all of your biometric data that you can. It's good. Good call.
It's you watch a video. It's not, you're not okay. Anyway.
I was just goofing. Calm down.
I know. Alyssa, you're up.
Okay. Andrew Jack asks, when is that Horde night?
Oh, we keep forgetting to do that.
I don't know what the Horde night is.
Gears Horde.
Okay,
we talked about doing Gears. I've been working through Gears of War with Joel, and I keep talking about doing a Horde night. Where did that start? Did that start on 2 or 3?
2.
Dos.
Which one would you say is a definitive Horde mode?
2.
Yeah?
Because 3 got too involved where you're like setting up defenses, perimeters, and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
There was a little bit of that in 2, but 2, just that stairwell is
Yeah, but it was just like
awesome.
set a turret. It wasn't like I gotta set this, electrified fence. Or whatever.
Yeah, I think it annoyed me in 3 because you'd have to like repair them in between rounds. I'm like, I'd rather just if I make the investment for a fence, it just slows them down or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. It was frustrating.
Andrew, I will remember your name, and I will make sure to tag you either on Discord or Facebook when we do that. We need to. It will probably be after like the 19th, so the second half of the month is when I will try to put that together. It will probably be difficult to get Zack to come because of his schedule.
Well, and also Final Fantasy. Come on, man.
That too. I will probably not be playing Final Fantasy, but
what?
It's just too much, man.
Come on.
Too much.
I'll join you.
Okay, I guess I will.
Buy one, get one.
All right. Over on Discord, Ferris says, do you own any games that you refuse to finish? Games that you love so much you don't want the experience to end. You want to be able to always have something to do in that world when you jump in. I have quite a few. This one's tough for me because if I enjoy a game, I just keep playing it. I am looking to roll credits. And I understand that games don't necessarily end when you roll credits because there's always something you can do. I mean, Breath of the Wild, I never finished it, but I feel like I'm back in it now with Tears of the Kingdom a little bit.
Have you thought about just booting it up to see the end then?
The original?
Yeah.
I mean, I went back and rewatched a YouTube video before starting Tears of the Kingdom just to catch me back up.
But you haven't felt the need to do it yourself?
No, mostly because of the time commitment. There's so much, but I mean, I'm talking about like going back and, doing all the shrines that I never did. You know what I mean?
Okay. I thought you were just talking about beating Ganon.
No. I'm talking like I took his question like refuse to finish. You're talking about always jump in and have something new to do. There's always something new to do. I could go back and get those Korok seeds in Zelda if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. You know what I mean? I go through games so quickly. I just don't often have a game I just always go back. I mean, for me, that's pinball, but that's not a game you finish. You know what I mean? It's just a score chaser.
Right.
How about you guys?
Well, usually I don't have any games like that because I like the journey of playing the game, but I want to get to the destination and find out what happens, and I'm like, okay, on to the next game. I don't really just, stay in a game for too long usually. So I want to know the ending, so
Yeah.
I will finish it. I'm not just gonna prolong not knowing what's going to happen. But I also spoil things for myself anyway, so I mean, I'd find out anyway. Even if I tried to do that, I'd be like, okay, gotta spoil it.
If I can't beat the game, I'm just going to YouTube the ending and see what happens, right?
That'll show the game.
I have to finish the game. Like that's my problem is I have to. Like I am compelled to finish the game. That's why you can always play games like Score Chasers that there is no end.
Right. I mean, just the thought of going back into some of those large games. Ghost of Tsushima might be one. I never did everything in that game, but it would be fun to go back and kind of clean that up.
Well, I really want to play Iki Island, the expansion, but I haven't.
Oh yeah,
so.
I never played that either.
That's the problem. Is like when it comes to like finishing a game, to me, it's like that's like I've rolled credits. I've finished the game, unless it's a game that like forces you to backtrack. Like, oh well, there's some other things I want to do. Reload last save, do some other things. But I mean, for the most part, yeah, like I am compelled to at least roll the credits, and if it's good enough, I'll hang around for a while. But then, goodbye.
All right.
Yeah,
Zach?
I took finish as seeing credits, but I've certainly put off like the last couple hours of a game, but I don't think I've ever like refused to finish a game forever, because then it's difficult to. It's really, I don't know. It's difficult to feel like you wholly love something if you haven't seen the complete experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I do get what you're saying, Furious. I have this kind of thing with TV shows where I will often get to the last 2 or 3 episodes and then just not watch them for months, and then maybe get back to them, or maybe be like, well, I got to rewatch it because I can't remember what happened. But
I can't do that with TV shows, man.
Yeah.
Like for me, the reason you burn through so many seasons, whatever, is to have those last 2 episodes. You know what I mean?
Right.
I still have not finished the final episode of Justified because I did not want it to end.
And that's a shame, because it's one of the best final episodes of any show ever.
Here's the thing though, with Primeval City coming out,
I know, it gives you an excuse, right?
It gives me an excuse now to finish that run.
I know exactly what you mean.
Because I'm actually currently watching through Justified again, knowing full well with Primeval City coming, I'm like, oh, I can finally see this.
So good. I think some of it for me is the way I watch shows, because I don't binge shows. I
don't either.
Okay, I drag them out for months or maybe a year. So it's like it's just,
same here.
It's such a part of my life that by the time I get to the end, it's almost like saying goodbye to that chunk of your life, as it were. Like I'm in the last season of Buffy, and I just have not finished it because I loved it so much that it just feels weird to say goodbye, I guess. Or I'm sure when I get to X-Files, that'll be easier because Mulder leaves the show in the last seasons, I guess. But
yeah,
it's before the last season.
You're gonna have this moment like in the last 5 years of your life when you're like in a retirement home and you're just all by yourself. You're gonna watch like the last 2 episodes of all these shows in like a week,
it finally
and
gets
you're gonna
closure.
finally finish them all.
Have you
I thought we
watched
were all
the
going to be the
X-Files
same
before?
retirement home.
That works.
What's up, CB?
Have you watched the X-Files before?
I have, yeah. No, this is
Okay,
This is not, it's not my first time. But I've never watched season. I have seen the last episode of X-Files, I guess, ironically, but I've never watched most of seasons 8 or 9.
Okay, you unfortunately have to define that now. Are you talking the last episode of the original run or the god awful thing that they brought back?
Well, I meant the end of the original run because I try not to acknowledge seasons 10 or 11 because they are unbelievable garbage.
Yes, thank
to
you.
the degree where like it's hard to imagine that anybody involved in the original show was involved in this, and yet they somehow were. But
Did you
it's
watch-
so bad.
Did you watch the spinoff?
Oh, the Lone Gunman?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good. Those guys are great.
That makes me really happy, by the way.
Yeah.
All right,
But,
Zach, you're up.
No, you're good. Was a Machine 261 writes, favorite video game character of all time? Mine would definitely be Garrus Vakarian from Mass Effect. I mean, he's a cool guy. He has
cool.
he has reach. She has flexibility.
I don't know what that means.
It's pretty great conversation. The Mass Effect 2 there. What about
This
you,
is a
Scott?
tough one. I mean, when I think video game characters, my mind immediately goes to Nintendo characters, like Mario and Samus and Link and all that. But
Let's go.
those are great mascots. I feel better more than characters. You know what I mean? They're recognizable faces in games that are fun to play. But there's not a lot of depth of character. So I'm gonna go with Edgar Figaro from Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy
Oh,
III.
okay.
I love that character because when you're first introduced to him, he just seems like a womanizer, and he kind of is. He's more of a flirt, but he makes some decisions, for the team, and he's got a lot of heart. He just feels like a very well written, fleshed out character, especially when that game was just using sprites, and you could kind of still feel those smiles and the waggle of his finger and stuff that he does. It's a very memorable character for me. So yeah, Edgar from Final Fantasy.
Great choice.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna guess Zack's. Sam Fisher.
He's up there. Yeah, I have a lot of favorite characters. It's hard to pick one.
It is hard.
I have a trinity. So
No, you can't have three answers. What is your favorite character of all time?
No, I have a trinity.
He's right.
Sorry.
He's writing his own rules.
Yep.
I can relate. I feel like I would go Sam Fisher, Max Payne, John Marston, kind of a trinity.
Just a trinity of manliness.
Hell
You
yeah!
guys can't commit to one, so you just got to come up.
But
with
you have
new
different
rules.
reasons why.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I have three, and two of them are from the same franchise. So
I'll commit. This could be some recency bias, but I'm going to say John Marston right now. Remember the name.
see, I can't do that. Well, actually, okay. Top five, two of them are from the same franchise. For me, it's most definitely Cave Johnson.
Hell yeah!
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fun choice.
Sarah Kerrigan,
Okay, wow.
and Chris Redfield.
Well,
Kerrigan, is that a StarCraft or?
Yeah!
Wow, I'm kind of surprised you could pull that out.
The queen herself, man.
Right?
She was on the cover of that DLC pack, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Brood War.
Brood War, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Sarah Kerrigan's character.
She's pretty great. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
All right, so we'll just pick 4CB. We'll just say Sarah Kerrigan.
Alyssa, did you give us yours?
Not yet, but mine's gonna be weird because I was like cycling through the characters I like, but the one that really stands out to me and that I really do enjoy as a character because he's so weird is Francis York Morgan from Deadly Premonition.
Dude, super cool.
He's just so
Okay.
interesting, and his story is complex, and I don't soft spot in my heart for him.
Well, plus his best friend is Zack.
That is true. He talks to Zack about a lot of stuff,
What's not to love?
especially movies, which I'm like, I'm all about the movie talk, so
That game's so weird.
Who was the companion you had in Fallout 4 that was like part
Dog
android?
Dog meat.
No.
Dog meat.
Look
Best
at it.
character, dog meat.
That's all you need. Dog meat.
he was like a robot, but he was like a detective, like a
Nick
noir.
Valentine.
Nick Valentine was such a
Oh.
cool character.
But
He was-
it's the
he
wrong
was
choice.
awesome.
It's dog meat. Dog meat
I
is the
never-
greatest. Best lines.
All right, CB, I think you're up.
Oh gosh, am I? Paul Hine, what game would you play if you only had an hour or less to play a day?
It depends on when it is. Right now, it would be Diablo.
Right. Yeah,
First
I mean-
off,
pretty-
I would create a time vortex and still break the rules.
I think when I said something about it, I said, the easy answer for me is going to be pinball, right? Because I can just sit down and play pinball for an hour, no problem.
Oh,
And
yeah.
his comment was, "This is like the reverse of desert island games. Like you instead of being stranded on an island for forever, what game are you going to play if you can only play for an hour a day?" Which is, I mean that depends on the day. Maybe he's saying like forever, like you can only play one game for 1 hour a day for the rest of your life.
Depends on my mood. That's the problem.
Yeah, but you got to commit. Is a point. You got to commit to
Can't.
one game.
Half hour. I get half hour in each.
I think if I'm thinking about it right, this is Paul. This is kind of it's a tough way to frame it in your brain. But if I'm looking for a game that like I can get in an hour and I know I'll get satisfaction from, I guess I don't know, Titanfall 2. Get in there, play some multiplayer matches, get out.
Well, plus you got the campaign that you can run through too, so you get a little bit of best of both worlds there.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a tough phrasing of the question.
And it's hard to think of like those open world games that are kind of easy answers on the Desert Island Games episodes because you're not going to make much progress in an hour. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're gonna
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be satisfying.
right. You're not going to make enough progress to really feel like you got anything done or accomplished, and it's going to make you yearn for more.
Because what's fun about those games is the one more thing. Oh, now I can go do this. Oh, let me go do this real quick. But then, but then you just get your power gets unceremoniously shut off.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be infuriating.
I would probably pick something like one of those collection games that has like all the Mega Man games on it or something like that.
yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
The Atari 50 collection.
There you go.
Smart.
If I legitimately had to stick with one, Dead Cells.
Oh,
you
okay.
get a run in. That's smart.
Binding of Isaac might be a good one too.
Ooh. No, because Binding of Isaac, I've discovered all the endings.
Well, I haven't, so I can pick it.
But Dead Cells, here's the thing: Dead Cells is still getting stuff made for it,
That's true.
and Dead Cells is different every time as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say roguelikes in general, or roguelites, whatever the difference is there, would be good ones.
See,
Rogue Legacy.
I would just say Galaga because I know I'll never see a kill screen.
You're not gonna play that every single day.
I did for a long time. But yeah, Dead Cells or maybe even Moonlighter.
Moonlighter so much. Oh, that game is so good. I almost rebought that on Switch just so I could play it portably.
I did.
Did you? It was on sale for like $5, and I was like, I should. Alyssa, what's your answer?
I thought about Galaga, but I could see myself getting tired of that
Yes.
one. Or Vampire Survivors, just because I have not seen the end of it. I feel like I have a
Good
lot
one.
to go through, and it's still getting content made for it
I
so
will
far.
warn you, the problem with that one is when you do get to that point, you just don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He's wrong.
No,
Don't listen to CB. He didn't like the game.
I
But-
did.
But that's actually perfect for an hour a day, Alyssa, because each
Mhm.
run is 30 minutes. Like it caps off after 30 minutes. So you get two
Sure.
runs in and you're
Right.
good.
Does it? Does it?
You can go past, yes.
Yeah,
It's like
You
does it,
can.
Scott?
But for like 6 seconds, right? Or can you go longer?
Nope.
Oh no, you can go a
No.
lot longer. There's some
Okay.
things that you discover,
That's-
man.
But see, that's the problem is once you know the formula,
hmm
you're just like, I'm bored now.
No.
Yeah.
Still fun.
Yeah.
Did you give it an answer, Zach? I don't remember. Or was
Yeah.
yours kind of like depends on
Titanfall.
the day? Titanfall, that's right. Okay.
Titanfall 2.
Alyssa, you're up.
Tree Ross writes, what characters from a gaming franchise would you build a sports game around, and what would be the sport? But we also have Paul Hine chiming in saying, this got me thinking. It would be fun to do an incongruous pairing, like Sonic and Sailing, or TMNT Soccer, Earthworm Jim Racing, Captain Falcon Polo, Mario World Jai Alai?
Highlight.
Okay.
One of the most dangerous sports in the world.
I can't say that, so thank you, CB. Gears Hockey, Final Fantasy Football.
Final Fantasy Football.
What's highlight?
Highlight? Imagine lacrosse,
Uh-huh.
but in a confined space. The ball bounces, and it's a golf ball, essentially. And normally that ball is rocketing at like 140 miles an hour.
Interesting.
Oh.
I need
It
to
is-
look up this sport.
Dude, you need to
Right.
watch it online. You will see some people take a ball to the face, and they're just like, and I'm in a coma now.
Oh, wow. Gears Hockey might be the best idea he's got on that list.
First off, it exists already. It's called Mutant League Hockey.
I thought it was Mutant League Football. There's a Mutant League
There's
Hockey.
a Mutant League Hockey, too. And it's
No, I'm
fantastic.
talking about the actual characters from Gears.
I mean, the big jacked up dudes on roids.
Yeah.
But can their hockey sticks have chainsaws?
That'd be awesome.
Seems like the only right way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, we have to think this backwards. I think we have to start with the sport. Like, what would be a fun sports game that either hasn't been done?
Gladiatorial combat.
I want to take the boys from
Greco-Roman wrestling.
take the boys from Final Fantasy 15 that are on the road trip and just make a beach volleyball game. You're welcome.
So,
And have that song from Top
Rumble
Gun playing in the
Roses?
background.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very Rumble Rose, very Dead or Alive, Extreme Beach Volleyball style.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can have them play the weird, wacky mini games where they tumble and giggle. It'd be great.
just random
That'd
chocobo
be
runs
great.
across the screen.
Yeah.
My problem is I just don't want to play a ton of like sports games anymore. You know, I play them during season for like a week, and then I never touch them again. So, but think like the Nintendo ones, like Mario Strikers and all that kind of stuff. What sports haven't been done? Racquetball.
You and racquetball.
I don't know if that'd be a fun video game.
It would be difficult to do for sure.
Super Mario Wrestling.
Super Mario Wrestling. I'm imagining like one of those WWE games where you've got like the ring.
Just here comes
Like-
Luigi with the elbow. Just
But you bring in like those crazy announcers that do those games, and that would be pretty funny. Tag team Mario Wrestling.
See,
Funny.
it's there, man. I'm telling you.
I don't know, like Jedi fencing.
Lost an eye. Well, Masters of the Terras Kasai.
Right,
you
but
bring
you
it
actually make them use actual foils. Like they can't use lightsabers. They actually have to use like you make a fencing game with
As
Star
they're sitting there
Wars
with the
characters.
Force, just beating each other in the face.
I'm trying to think of other like Olympic sports. What is it? Biathlon? Where they have to ski
Decathlon?
and then
the biathlon where it's like, oh, we're gonna ski and shoot things.
yeah. So whatever the character was from Silent Scope.
Oh God. No, I was thinking that or the
No, Price
James Bond.
from Call of Duty. Because he would have great conversation while he's you just have him on a radio. Like,
going duck.
we're gonna ski now.
He'd be great. He'd be great in the beach volleyball game too.
I seriously considered him for my favorite character just on his voice alone.
He's so cool.
He's the epitome of cool. Anytime I'm playing a mission in Call of Duty where he's not there, I wish I were playing with Price. Like,
Right.
it's just that voice actor is outstanding.
I want gladiatorial combat.
But what character? What video game character?
All of them.
That's called Smash Brothers.
No. But here's the thing. I don't want to be locked into just Nintendo. Like, you create your avatar, and every round you have to fight a random like beast, but like a beast. Like that form of gladiatorial combat where it's like, oh yeah, look, the guy versus a tiger. But you just get random like just RNG, but like every beast type character from every video game ever.
That's
it's
a
like-
fun idea. So it's not
so-
the characters. You're playing as your avatar, but you're fighting against random enemies from random videos.
So it's like round 1, Birdo. Round 2, and then you get like for some reason like the Sand Lions from Half-Life 2.
Oh, okay. Dude,
So
you've had 2 banger ideas this week for games.
This is what happens when I sit in a room for 48 hours at a hospital, and I'm just like, okay, stare at the questions, think, and then
Zack?
just pump me full of caffeine.
There you go.
What?
Zach, you got one, or did you already have? You already gave one.
He had it.
Yeah, he keeps forgetting about me,
Yeah.
Scott.
I know, dude. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
I didn't forget about
Well, well, thank you. What about like a Mortal Kombat game with that cast, but a hot dog eating contest?
Oh, so the boys from Final Fantasy, but a hot
Finish
dog
it.
Mortal Kombat, yeah, finish him.
You just got a pile of hot dogs, and it's like, finish them.
Yeah,
Baraka's got a whole bunch just on his blades.
yeah. Well, he'd be cheating, right? He's slicing them up. Terrible.
He's roasting them over the fire and make sure they're nice and hot while he's stuffing his face to the other one.
Bo Rai Chi would win.
Oh yeah, you just get drunk. Just eat
Just
them all. What about Goro, man? He's got 4 hands. He could really go to town.
Mortal Kombat hot dog eating contest is the best answer we've heard all day, man.
That'll be the mini game in the new Mortal Kombat. They're like, the world has been remade. Instead of breaking bricks, you're like eating hot dogs.
That'd be awesome.
Well, they kind of did that in one of the Ninja Turtles games. It was like you had to eat pizza in between levels. Remember that?
Yep.
It was just a button mash where you had to like eat pizza as much as you could.
That's fun.
Okay, Alyssa, what sport do you want to play with what characters?
Well, mine can't top Zack's now.
I know, right?
I was just gonna say the cast from Final Fantasy VII Remake and just make them ice skate because I want to see Barrett ice skating.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No. Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Barrett's floor routine, sitting there with like a ribbon,
man.
just dancing around.
I want to see him incorporate that hand cannon into his ice skate routine. I think it'd be
That's
delightful.
what I was imagining.
Just
Oh my
fires it
God.
at the ice while spinning it around.
Right. Well, he could almost handstand on it and use it to spin around.
Has there ever been an ice skating video game?
I don't think so.
Well, there's been a
Probably
bunch
not
of
one that's good.
Yeah.
there've been Olympic games, so maybe that's been like one of the mini games in them.
I've played some of those Olympic games, and they're not as good as you think.
No, I assume they're terrible.
There's been
I'm
a couple
just-
that are pretty okay.
Huh.
But yeah.
That was a good question though, Drew. I appreciate that one. Oh boy.
Our
Kevin-
producer.
Our producer Kevin Honiford, who is a lot of fun to have as a text buddy on the
yeah.
weekends.
I can,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can clearly tell what
Yeah.
time of day this comment was
Oh, yeah.
made.
I can as well.
So Kevin Honigford writes, and I'm gonna get in the right frame of mind for this because you got to have the right radio voice. Watching people work together to make the world a better place is a beautiful thing. Which do you think is a more entertaining way to do so? Opening people's eyes to the fact that Shadow the Hedgehog is a little or explaining to them that people that hate the Sega Genesis are beyond saving and are just to be felt sorry for at this point.
Kevin, I love you.
almost feel like
Well, Sonic is he's the yeah.
Okay, folks, I'm going to pitch this out there because someone in this foursome right here doesn't agree with me. But watching our group play Dungeons and Dragons,
Mhm.
but a live, like, streamed version,
Yeah. Is there a question in there?
would anybody watch it?
Dude, I've been to our sessions. There's no way anybody wants to watch our
I
sessions. live.
completely disagree with you because the magic that is drunk Kevin is glorious. Between
Yeah, but
that,
You'd have to suffer through 45 minutes of us just BSing, waiting to get the game started.
Scott's character trying to steal coins out of pockets and then taking pants off.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't sound that different than Critical Role so far.
Yeah. It just takes a long way to get there. No editing. Yeah.
Kevin,
You're welcome, Kevin.
Drunk is great, yeah. I set my phone down and pick it up 2 minutes later, and there's 20 extra text messages.
Guys.
Use guys.
Guess what? Guys.
Anyway,
He spells
the
guys Gize, and we literally changed it on our messenger thread so that whenever the word guys is spelled out that way, it just does an image of a beer, like the little emoticon or whatever of a beer shows up.
That's good.
Pretty funny. So.
Oh, and the fact that when drunk Kevin has to come up with names, it is a sight to behold.
No. He talks with his hands a lot when he's been playing D&D, and he's
inebriated.
And he does this, and we told him he looked like the Emperor from episode 3. No, you're the whatever. It had to be there. Anyway, thank you everybody, including Kevin, for the questions. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget, next week we are taking the week off so that we don't have a topic selected yet, but we will have an episode with you with some of the former From the Outside In topics all spliced together. That's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider, however. Thank you so much for listening. Believe it or not, this episode was produced by Kevin Honigford, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemmage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemmagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Zach, do you have any parting words or recommendations for our listeners before we head out for the night?
Parting words, you know what? I watched You Season 4, Netflix series. All about
the one
You.
where the dude stalks?
Yeah,
and all the women love him?
Dexter for Stalkers. Yeah, it's a good show. I have a lot of fun with it.
It is.
Yeah, I thought this first half of Season 4 was a fun little whodunit, and there's some leaps of logics in the back half that I did not appreciate as much.
Yeah, I can see that.
Involving this character, Nadia, just doing some totally bizarre behavior. But anyway, just for the sake of resolution, which is disappointing because I feel like You is typically a surprisingly smartly written show. But it's just so much fun. That guy stalking those ladies. What's not to love about that?
I love how he thinks wearing a baseball cap and hiding behind a very small tree is a great way to, not be seen by anyone.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems to work.
I know, it works for him.
And if somehow, when a woman does run into him while he's in his stalk brigade, they're just like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh yeah, no, I had to go to the pharmacy." And they're like, "Yeah, you want to bang?" And it's like it works out for him. So,
it does.
Who's to argue? But no, it's a good show. I just thought Season 4 is a little lesser, but I guess Season 5 is even the last one, which seems appropriate.
Yep. Fine.
Yeah. All right, CB, how about you?
2 quick things. I got back into gardening.
Okay.
Very relaxing. Lots of fun. Sounds boring, but something about just getting your hands dirty, doing things.
Ain't nothing wrong with a simple hard day's work.
Nope, not at all. So, on top of that, I have a movie to recommend.
Yeah.
Sisu.
You saw it?
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Wow, dude.
I didn't know that was out already.
Yeah. It that movie is dialed up to 11 for just violence.
That movie reminds me of that. It wasn't a Wolfenstein movie, but it should have been a Wolfenstein. It felt like one, like that kind of violence, but just cranked up a notch. I cannot remember the name of that movie.
This movie felt like if you took John Wick and smashed it into Quentin Tarantino.
Oh wow.
Because it feels like Inglourious Bastards, but just dialed up. And
who doesn't love seeing Nazis just getting killed?
Dude.
People in Portland, apparently.
It is. It is a whole other level of just violence. Do not let your kids watch this.
Is it done in a way that is realistic, or is it like Japanese animation?
Okay.
Blood squirting everywhere kind of thing.
It's not like the Japanese animation style or like old school Japanese samurai movies.
Wait, what's wrong with squirting blood everywhere?
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just asking if it's realistic or if it's It's done in a way that's made it look cartoonish. Which, by the way, I just learned recently that was because of Kurosawa.
Malfunction. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool little story behind it, but yeah, fantastic movie. Just it reminds me of it also reminds. Do you remember Shoot 'Em Up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a underrated movie.
Clive Owen.
It reminds me of Shoot 'Em Up because the character just doesn't say anything except one line in the entire movie. But it's just fantastic violence.
All
That's
right.
Awesome. Remember Paul Giamatti getting his birthday card for his son. It was like a sexy lady.
I love that movie so much, man.
So I mean, he kills people with carrots in that movie. Clive Owen. It's pretty awesome.
My favorite kill in that movie was when he shot the filing cabinet from the back and slammed the door. It pushed the door out and hit the guy right in the face. It was so good. Love that movie.
Yeah, this movie's great.
Alyssa, you got a recommendation?
I really enjoyed the movie Reality on HBO Max. Just the way it's edited and filmed. Basically just takes place in one room. Very short movie. Really clever editing. It's based on a true story, and the person's name was actually Reality Winner. Actual name. I thought that was a code name. It was not. It's just an.
It's an interesting. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say it's definitely not the weirdest name that I've heard. There's a doctor. If you know the doctor I'm talking about in this area, Scott.
No, I don't.
Dr. Marijuana Pepsi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a real doctor, folks. So go ahead with Reality King.
I don't want to say too much because it is only about, I think, a little over 80 minutes long, maybe 80 minutes total. So it's not a long movie, but just the suspense it builds and the fact that she's trying to dodge the FBI's questions, but they're really hounding her. It's such a well-made movie, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. I didn't really expect much going in, but I really enjoyed it.
All right. That sounds interesting. It reminds me, you talking about, have you seen The Immaculate Room with Kate Bosworth?
I have not.
That one's on Hulu. My wife and I just randomly watched it because we flipping through and just something that's recommended. That's like where two people are trapped in a room and if they stay there for a certain amount of time, they're given $5 million or something like that. Oh
yeah, that looks super cool.
That was a pretty fun social experiment movie. If you like that kind of thing. So, and I hadn't seen Kate Bosworth in anything in quite a while, so check that one out. My recommendation is an interesting one. I discovered a website called Forgotify. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
So it's for people that are fans of music, but it's this website that basically goes on Spotify and it finds songs that have either zero or very low listener counts. Like nobody has listened to them. And I found it to be a really fun experiment just to go through and randomly try to find some songs that nobody is listening to. Because, all the algorithms on Spotify, or I use Amazon Music and everything, are all things that tailor to your music style or are the popular songs. So Forgotify, just basically you click a button and it randomly searches Spotify and finds a song that has either nothing, that's never got played, or it's had just a handful of listens, and it plays a snippet of it. It doesn't play the whole song, it just plays a sample of it. And if you like it and you have Spotify, you click it, it will take you to your Spotify account and pull that song up for you.
So I imagine a lot of SoundCloud rappers.
I've come across a couple, yes. There's a lot of that. But I came across a band today that I can't say on the air because of it, but I'll share with you guys afterwards. I thought it was a pretty cool song. It's an instrumental, but it's just a fun thing to go through and be like, why is this song never got any airplay? Or also, this is why I could never be a musician, because they're clearly talented. They put together something that sounds good, but it's not gonna, how do you get noticed? So
it seems harder than musicians seem most affected by the streaming era.
Yeah,
in terms of just being disposable.
Yep, Well, that's
Yeah.
also why it costs $3,000 to go see a Taylor Swift concert, because she's not making money off of record sales anymore, right?
Right. Well, is she making that money, or is Ticketmaster making that
Yeah,
money?
that's a whole other thing too. So, but yeah, Forgotify. It's a fun little thing just to go check out and see if you discover. I mean, you gotta wade through a lot of stuff that's not going to interest you, because
Trash.
I have not figured out a way to like narrow it to my specific genre that I prefer. I would kind of like that, because there's a lot of like, just random ambient noise stuff that I'm, just got to kind of skip through, but might be a fun way to discover some new music that you never heard before. So check it out. All right. Well, Zach, Chris, Alyssa, thank you so much for being here. It's been a good time. We'll see you in a couple weeks when we do this again. Hope you enjoyed the interim episode, but thanks so much for listening, everybody. It's been a blast. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson, Chris Behrensmeyer, and Alyssa White, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.